I came along, and I think I was around 5 or 6 years old. He bought me just the bone stock DRR. Kind of it tossed me to the right a little bit, but then it leveled my bike out. So where I landed on the knuckle of the 5, my bike was completely level. So it completely frame cased just threw me into the face of the devil before. Yeah. Last year I was at a trade school, going to school 5 days a week. Had a job, had to go work after school as well, and find time to train. And that was like the biggest crunch time of my life I've ever had so far. Right. Just absolutely grinding. Going to work. And I'm probably you go to work. I ended up getting so sick. And throughout the whole next 2 weeks after that, because we went to Ram Jam, it got warm at home. I remember we went to Ram Jam, and that's when I wadded it up in the corner. I've held a riding school before. That was a blast. That was a really good experience to be able to understand what different riders at different skill levels are thinking, how they ride. Why wouldn't the pro guys? I mean, this kind of takes away from the series, but why can't the pro guys race at Fridays and Fridays with the dirt bikes over in their pro motocross type of thing like they did before? Steel City, I'm pretty sure 2009. Little Jimmy needs to be in every single class that he can possibly race. Well, guess what? That's only adding cost to his program, because now he's got to have 4 race machines plus a practice machine or whatever the case may be. We've tried to voice our opinions with, and a lot of it just doesn't get done because someone in our sport needs to be one of the head people, like our Supreme Court system. There needs to be someone for the ATVs up in there that says, hey, we're for you guys. We're gonna bring this up. Can we get this changed?
And that's what Hey everybody, this is Liam with Four Wheel Frenzy Podcast, and we are back again with a new episode here with
Noah Arnal.
Noah, and you're a racer, correct?
Yes, sir.
So first things first, you're Noah, you race ATVs. Where are you from, Noah?
From Amherst, Ohio.
And what series do you race in?
Race the AMA ATV National Series.
And what classes are you currently? I guess it's kind of a weird question right now because the season is over. What classes did you run in 2025?
We ran Pro Sport and Pro Am.
All right, and we're not going to get into next year yet. That'll be later on, in case you have some secrets you want to keep to yourself, or if you want to tell them, it's up to you.
Sounds good.
But Noah, let's start from the beginning. How did you get into riding ATVs?
So, got into riding through my dad. My dad he did it for pretty much throughout his whole life. And then I came along, and I think I was around 5 or 6 years old. He bought me just the bone stock DRR, took me to our indoor track. I remember it was winter. It was super cold, and I couldn't even barely making up any of the jumps. My hands were getting so cold. I was like, Dad, I don't want to do this. I'm cold. But then I just kept doing laps, and just took flight from there. We raced our local series, the CRA series, in 2014, and met some people at the locals who ran some nationals, and then we did our first year of nationals in 2015, and haven't stopped since.
Okay, and that first indoor track. Which track was that?
It would be Ram Jam.
That was Ram Jam.
Yep.
And you still ride there to this day.
We do, yeah. Ray Lynn at Ram Jam, she does an amazing job, hosts some good quad days, and they do a great job. They've been around since when my dad was racing. They helped my dad out, and they do an amazing job.
So that's why you're Raylan's favorite then, too. She's watched you grow up.
Oh, yeah.
So 2015, how old were you when you went to your first national?
I would have been I would have been 7 years old. Okay. That would have been Muddy Creek, I think. Muddy Creek.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And, we showed up, and that was like a eye-opener, I guess, because, 11 years ago, every gate was stacked. Every gate was full, and you had who knows how many people. You had at least 20 riders, and having qualifiers. It was me, my older cousin or my two older cousins, we went and raced at National, and my older cousin was in the 70 Auto and 70 Open, and I'm pretty sure there were over 40 riders in an automatic class.
Wow.
So like it was pretty insane.
Yeah, yeah. And you said your first machine was a DRR?
DRR, yep.
50?
50, yep.
Stock built?
Oh, it was all built. Hetrick Racing did all the work.
Okay.
Yeah, it was all built, and we signed up for the 250 classes. It would have been CVT and 50 Open at the time, and I don't remember what I placed, but I just remember having such a good time.
Yeah.
Like after that first race, we were hooked for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I guess it helps that your dad having the experience in racing. You know, it seems like a lot of people, they'll buy, it's a Chinese four-wheeler, or, they'll get a stock DRR, stock Apex, and deal with the nightmares that is. But he went straight to it, got a built DRR from Hetrix, and, essentially you started out with a good machine.
Oh, yeah.
For what you could race as a 50.
For sure. Like my first year of local racing, I was not on a built bike. It was stock. It might have had changed the clutch springs, the shoe springs, and that was about it. But once we kind of realized, hey, we started meeting some faster riders in my class and introducing us to the nationals and engine builders and what we could do for suspension and everything else. So eventually we would get suspension, and then we would get something else done in the engine, and it just was a big puzzle that finally got put together, and by the time we were ready for nationals, we had a full race machine that was going to be competitive.
So that's kind of why, even to this day, your dad is one of the CVT guys.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of stories I'm sure he has of testing random stuff up at shops, and he knows a lot. And when I was on my last year of CVTs, we were on Apexes, we were changing clutch springs every single moto.
Yeah.
Every single moto, I had a brand new clutch spring.
Yeah.
And it worked. I ended up winning 3 championships on an Apex, and yeah, he definitely knows a thing or two about the DRRs and the Apexes for sure.
Absolutely. Now, your first local race, do you remember what track that was?
Ooh. It was... I think it was Amherst Metal Arcs.
Okay.
That's probably about 15 minutes from my house where I live now.
Okay.
Yeah, raced on the little track. They had a little track. And yeah, that was where the journey began.
Okay. And you did, how many seasons of CRA did you do before you hit nationals?
We did one
just one
full season, and then we met a family, the Kimmy family. They used to race, and we met them, introduced us to the nationals. We went to Muddy Creek, which was our first one, and that was the start of it.
That's crazy.
Yep.
Yeah. No, it's crazy how quickly you can get hooked. And I mean, obviously you've taken it far, which we'll talk about more here in a bit, but you started racing at the nationals on a 50. I mean, you started where you could start at the nationals.
Yep.
And you've progressed every step of the way, correct? 50s, 70s, 90s.
Yep. I pretty much raced every sort of machine. Every 50 auto, 70 auto, 90 auto, 70 shifter, 90 shifter, the Super Mini. There were a couple things I never raced, like the 150 or the 300 EX, and then up to the 250s and now the 450s. So we've had pretty much every stepping stone we've came across.
Okay. Now, this is something that you'll see kids that, because obviously there's 70 autos and there's 70 shifters. There's not 90 autos, 90 shifters. Did you run the CVTs all the way up, or as soon as you could start shifting, did you try to switch?
So we ran 50. I ran a 50 auto for 2 years, and then I was my second year, I was in the 50 class. Would have been my second year nationals. I ran the 70 auto as well. Ran 70, and then 50s and 70 auto in 2016, and then 2017 we switched to the Apex platform.
Okay.
A little bit more travel, a little bit better for my sort of riding, I guess. And race, that would have been my first year shifting. We got a 90 shifter, and I would go out and race 70 auto, 70 open, 90 auto, and then the 90 open on the shifter. Okay. So that was my first kind of just getting to start shifting. So when we got that, I would go out into the field, just practice shifting, do a little turn track in the field, and I had no expectations really, like going out there, just having fun,
getting some seat time, practicing on a shift. Yeah, for sure. And I didn't meet you until you were on the 90s. Were you, like I know you said you switched to Apexes. Were you a fairly small kid, a little bit larger for your age?
I don't know. I think I was like the perfect, like the happy medium.
Okay,
I wasn't
you're
ever
just an average size kid. Okay.
Yeah. I never was too short. Never was too tall, too big on the machine.
Okay, because I just know like the Apex. If you're a little bit larger kid, they normally go to the Apex because it's a little bit larger chassis too.
Yes, yeah.
So, okay. I didn't know if that was another reason why you went, because maybe you're a little bit bigger or whatever.
Yeah, so. I think we just grew. And I think that Apex had a little bit more travel than the DRRs did. Yeah. So I think it was more reliable choice, I would say.
Oh, definitely. So all the way up to that in the youth classes. Now, like you just said, you kind of missed out on the 300s and even the 400s. Did you do Super Mini at all?
I did Super Mini.
On a 90 mod or on a 150?
On the KTM 105.
Okay.
So on the JB mod, two-stroke. Okay. This, like, now I know the rule is for that class for the Super Mini and Schoolboy Junior, you can have a 112 stroker. And back when we raced, like 2020, 2021, you could only have 105.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and there's things I'd like to talk about that at some point, but this is about you and not about how we should be shaping these classes. So yeah, I mean, you pretty much went all the way up, and then I know you kind of made a bit of a hit in the 250 class. How many championships in the youth ranks did you get overall?
14, I think.
14 championships.
Yep.
That is insane.
Yeah, and that was the thing too. I never really raced a class like if I won a championship, we always moved out of it.
Yeah.
Always moved out of it. I did race a second year in the 70 open class.
Okay.
But it was on a shifter. The first year I won it on automatic. I said, okay, I'm going to try it on the shifter because if anyone's rode a 70 shifter, you have to ride those things on the pike the whole time. And I was on a KX 65, might have been stroked to a 70. I'm not really sure, but it was very, very hard to race against the automatics in that class. Like, dude, the CVTs would just go.
Oh yeah, no, and those KXs, I've never ridden like a KTM 65 or anything like that. Those KXs, they're peppy, but you've got a very small window, and you need to be in that window.
Correct. Yeah, you have to be running second gear, just high RPMs the whole time, and clicking third. Like I would drop gears, 2 gears in the corners, 2 gear in the air, getting ready to set up for a corner to make sure I wasn't going to bog down. But yeah, back to the class thing. Once I got into the position to like run the next class up, because I was always a younger kid moving up.
Yeah,
I was never like the old guy, the vet in the class. Just because once we got it through, once we won a class, I was like, all right, what's the next step?
Yeah.
Let's progress. So
right. Yeah, and it seems like another rider that comes to mind that would do that a lot would have been Max Lindquist. He was always a faster kid for that class, and he was one of the younger ones, and came up to the point where at I think it was 14 years old. Yeah, 14 years old, he won all the 250 classes. So when he was 15 years old, he took a year off because what are you going to do?
Yeah,
you can only run those classes that you just raced and won last year.
Yep.
So he took that year off to train to come back when he was 16 and run Pro-Am.
Yeah. I really like Max. I have a lot of respect for Max.
Yeah.
We raced the Tri-City race together, and man, those guys are freaking quick. But I do remember like when I was a little kid, talk like with Max, I remember watching him just because of the white and red, this Cobra and then the LTR chassis.
Yep.
I just remember that specifically, like it's like one of those things that you just remember.
Yeah.
And I do remember him disappearing for a little while and then coming back, and then like I guess when I remember him coming back would have been Pro Sport and Pro-Am, him and Zach Decker.
Pro-Am in 2020.
Yep. Him and Zach Decker battling it out.
Yep.
But yeah, I really do like Max. He's got a lot of respect for that guy for sure.
Yeah. And I mean, going with that too, like Max has always been somebody that's real, down to earth, pretty mature for his age, and knows why he's there.
Correct.
And I do see a lot of that in you as well. There's a lot of times, obviously, I'm local to you now.
Yeah.
So I see you a lot at the tracks, and you're somebody that I can sit down and have a conversation with. And there's times where I forget how young you are, because I can just sit down and have a conversation with you about racing and about stuff like that. And Max is the same way. You forget a lot of times that, he's 20, I think he might be 22 now, but 21 years old. When we were on the team with him, he was, 19, 20.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh shit. Like, this dude sometimes seems like he's 40.
Oh,
like,
yeah. No, yeah. Especially when you go through, like, you just have so many experiences, and it matures you as a person, and age, especially when you talk to adults, you talk to them, you're like, how old are you? And you tell them, you're like, oh, I'm 17, I'm 18 years old. They're like, what?
Yeah.
Like,
well, and like with you, it's obvious, why you're there. You're not at the track to hang, obviously it's a perk of being at the racetrack is you get to hang out with your buddies and stuff like that. But during the day, you are there to race. You're there to, obviously you're having fun with racing. Oh, and I think anybody can see that by watching, but you're there to have fun, but you're there to race, and you're going for championships.
Yep. Correct.
You're there to, obviously this isn't necessarily your job, but you're there to work.
Correct. Yeah. And you got to have fun with it. I think a lot of people don't really understand. I mean, I could be wrong, but I feel like a lot of people don't understand that everyone's so focused on, I want to win. I want to be the best. I was like, you can do that, and then it gets to a point to where you're not having fun anymore. And if you're not having fun, what is the point?
Right.
And that's why I always told myself, it's like, if I'm not having fun, why am I still doing this?
Right.
You have to be fun with it, but you also have to take it serious. You got to treat it as a job, regardless of what the circumstances are at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Take it serious and have fun.
Absolutely. And you've got, on one side, you've got the people that are taking it so serious that's like, whoa. And then you got the other people that they're just there to party and have fun.
Yeah.
You need to find that happy medium where you are serious, but at the same time, you're having fun. You do know why you're there. You know that at the end of the day, you're not making a living off of this.
Yeah.
There's very few people that get to do that with at least the way that the sport is right now.
Correct.
But 14 championships from 50s all the way to 250s as a youth rider. And then, you didn't even step up to the big classes until last year, correct?
Yep. Last year.
2024 was your first year on a full-size 450 platform.
Yep.
And you came out, I would say you came out swinging. What classes did you run last year?
Pro Sport and Pro-Am again.
Pro Sport, Pro-Am. So, and for people that run, our Youth All-Star, 250 Mod, Schoolboy Senior, it's pretty much the same people that run those three classes. But Youth All-Star is your premium youth class. And I feel like if you were to do, I'd say even top 3 of those, you're pretty certain that you could bump up to Pro Sport Pro-Am.
Oh yeah. And that's what I loved about Youth All-Star. I don't remember if it was the second year I was in it or the third. We kind of made a petition, rally together to get a extra lap put in. Okay. It's like, if we're the premier youth class, give us another lap.
Yeah.
And it also kind of gets you ready, because a lot of those kids can go straight to A, straight to Pro Sport.
Yeah, exactly.
And Pro-Am, and it's like, if you want to kind of get ready for that, 4 laps ain't going to cut it.
Oh, no, not at all.
Not at all.
Yeah, and so many people have done that. In recent years anyways. Dane Molander did it, from the Youth All-Star. And even when he ran Youth All-Star and I think it was Schoolboy Senior and Youth All-Star, he also ran a B class, because when you were 15, you were eligible to run one of the B classes. Correct. So he already had some experience on a 450. The next year, he went to Pro Sport Pro-Am. Yeah. And, JJ Launderville, obviously, I work with him, so I know a lot about his program. But, once he did the 3 championships in 2020, we decided 2021, let's just go to A class. And obviously, he got injured that year. So 2022, we came back, A class, got a championship, and that's when we bumped up. You're, like I said, you're very if you are a top, at least top 5, maybe a little bit further back than that in those 3 classes, and you plan to continue, A class or the Pro Sport Pro-Am would be a very good step for you. And obviously you did that. But last year wasn't a very good season for you, correct?
Yeah, no. Had an incident at Ironman. There was this jump. Everyone calls it the 5. It was the over-under bridge. You dropped down, and then you jumped. It was like a quad, and then you had like a second step into the face of this double. So I had done it the previous practice before, but I cased it. Like I cased it pretty hard, and it was kind of like, all right, I need to give it a little more.
Yep.
And I didn't get an extra lap that practice, so we went back out, and I knew it was like, all right, it's kind of one of those things where it's like you do it, or you're gonna just do the quad again, and you're gonna keep thinking about it, and it's only gonna mess you up more. So I just went out, and from other riders not doing the quad even, or just checking up in the face of the jump, it got a kicker in it, and it kind of tossed me to the right a little bit, but then it leveled my bike out. So where I landed on the knuckle of the 5, my bike was completely level, so it completely frame cased and just threw me into the face of the double before, and I broke my collarbone, my shoulder blade, and 3 ribs, and I'm pretty sure I was knocked out. I don't really remember getting up. I remember getting up, but I remember walking to the mule that they took me to the ambulance. Yeah. But then that mule ride, I blacked out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because then I walked and then I remember getting into the mule. They drove me all the way to the ambulance, and I sit in the ambulance, and it just all came back, and I was like, whoa, where am I? I knew I crashed, but I didn't remember getting into the ambulance.
Yeah.
And but yeah, it was honestly just a really silly mistake. Probably shouldn't have done it, but it was one of those jumps. Hey, I see, Joey Norris was one of the guys doing it, and I was like, all right, I cased it this time. Now I need to complete it, because it's gonna mess with my head a little bit, and just those little things were something that used to get to me but don't anymore, and probably shouldn't have done it back then. I don't think it would have been the difference maker for sure.
Yeah, it didn't seem to be. Obviously Joey was doing it, and it didn't seem to do anything.
Yeah, no, for sure.
It was just a cool factor.
Oh yeah, no, and then that's I talked to other guys Friday, and I was like, just you pace them off of it, and you're like, all right, he's gaining, a bike so it is a tad faster, but was the risk worth the reward?
Right.
Nah, no. And then I don't even think many people were doing it. I think they did it a couple times Saturday. Bryce was the only guy I really remember doing it consistently.
Yeah.
And after that, I know there wasn't anyone doing it Sunday. It rained a little bit. It was wet.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, that's one of those things. It's you live and you learn where to kind of draw the line of, is this risk really worth the reward?
Yeah.
Because, at the end of the day, you go faster on the ground.
Right.
That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, well, and you go faster on the bike, not in the hospital.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And that's something that you learn as you age and mature as well.
Correct.
You look at, even Chad was hurt last year, but Joel and, Bryce did do it, but Hogue and some of these other faster pro guys didn't even try it.
Yeah.
You got to pick your battles.
Correct.
It's even on the bike world, there was one person that did that year.
Yeah.
And look at him.
Yeah.
I mean, he's kind of dumb.
Yep. So, no, I mean, yeah, for sure. You just gotta know what's smart and what's not smart, what's worth the risk,
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's unfortunate. It sucks, but I do remember one specific thing was, and I asked my dad, I don't know if you've ever asked my dad about this, but we were driving because we didn't want to take the ambulance. I was like, all right, I'm okay. I can deal with the collarbone pain is nothing.
Yeah.
And the ribs and the shoulder, that was all fine.
Okay.
But we got in the truck and driving to the hospital in Indianapolis, I think it was.
You went that far?
Yeah, we went that far.
Yeah. Which is 45-minute drive.
Yeah, it was it was close to an hour because we drove back Saturday, got to watch the second moto. But I started coughing, like, just because of the rib, like my chest hurt.
Yeah.
I started coughing. I was like, Dad, I need like something to spit in. And it was just bright red blood.
Oh, man.
And it was kind of like a scary thing because I didn't really know, like, do I got a punctured lung?
Right.
Am I going to like start like losing oxygen or something crazy? And my dad, like, he said he does not remember driving to the hospital. He
really?
blacked out.
Yeah.
He
was
just
on a mission.
just to get there and get situated. But
Yeah.
no, that ended up actually healing like the night like it took like a 24 hours. And that was the biggest thing. Like they watched it, make sure, gave me this thing to like blow in and it make sure it like reached a certain level. And that's what they also said, like if I wouldn't have broke my collarbone, I could have raced with the broken ribs and shoulder blade. Like,
I mean, you could, but should you?
Should you? No, exactly. And that goes back to would that be a smart idea?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But
because you were only out a few rounds last year after that happened. Like you came back before the end of the season.
Yeah. I was out for Budds Creek. What were the two after? Budds Creek, I remember because I went and watched.
Oh, shoot. Let me think here. I think it was Budds and then Pleasure Valley.
I rode Pleasure Valley. That was my
Pleasure
second
Valley,
race back.
So it would have been Budds and then
High Point. Yep, I missed High Point because I didn't even go. I was gonna go watch, but
okay, maybe High Point was before Budds then.
Yep, High Point was before Budds. That was the first one. Second one, man, I can't think of what the second one was.
Yeah, I don't remember last year as much as this year anymore.
Yeah, no, that they all do. They all turn into a blur. But there was High Point and Budds for sure. I remember missing, and
Sunset probably would have been in there somewhere.
That was my first race back. That was horrible.
Yeah,
I was just turned 8. I had just been 8 weeks. I was on the bike at 6.5, I think, riding just to kind of get the feel for it. I was like, if I'm going to try and ride or race at Sunset, I need to ride beforehand and not just show up to the National and like not be ready.
Right.
So we showed up to Sunset and all was going good. I was fighting the bike super bad. I was so out of shape and not in any sort of condition to go race. And I raced super good pro sport Saturday, and like we had qualifiers because we had so many people, so many riders.
Pro sport for the last few years we've had qualifiers.
Oh yeah, and race pro sport. I think I got like 4th at Moto. I did really good, kept up with the pace, decent I'd say, and then the rest of the weekend was just this fall off a cliff. Like 14th, 15th, like riding just absolutely horrible. And I was like, man, this sucks. I need to go back to work as soon as we get home. But yeah, that was the first race back. And then I guess the rest of the season, that was like pretty uphill. Like I progressively got better. I broke back into the top 10. I was getting top 5s in the motos, and my starts were super bad last year. They were completely awful. Like I could not get off the gate to save my life, and but I had some good motos. I think I got a 3rd at Loretta's. That was like Loretta's second moto. JJ I think blew up, and Kevin had like
Pro-Am. Pro-Am. Kevin crashed, I believe.
Right in the rollers.
Yep, crashed in the 12 Commandments, and JJ had a water pump implode.
Okay.
And and then I
remember he was smoking like a freight train.
It was that was a weird one.
But no, last year was good. It was definitely like a learning experience, especially being on the big bike for the first time, and had no off-season training. Like I went to Florida during Christmas and rode Ram Jam pretty much the rest of the way, and that was kind of like a wake-up call, like, oh, this not gonna cut it at all. Not in the big ranks. So but yeah, last year wasn't bad. I kind of ask myself this sometimes too. It's like, should I have waited, maybe just done A in pro sport? Maybe, but I think that time there wasn't many people in A. Now, I could be completely wrong. I don't want to discredit riders that were in there, but I feel like there was like very few. Man,
there was a decent amount of guys in A last year.
It was 23 because that was my last year on 250s, and there were like 2 guys in A class. And it was like, well, if it's going to be like this next year, then I think that
Right.
was like the main reason we just went straight to Pro Sport, Pro Am.
Yeah.
But
Because I know last year, like Pro Sport, there's a lot of guys that were doing well in Pro Sport that were still in A class.
okay. Yeah, maybe it was definitely 23 then, and that was why we didn't go to A in Pro Sport. We just went straight to Pro Sport and Pro Am.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And I mean, the biggest difference is, did you feel like you needed something to learn before you went up to Pro Am? Otherwise, A class would have just been a confidence booster.
correct.
If you would have won.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's a horse apiece. You know,
Yeah.
either bump up to the faster guys and get faster quicker, or step down to A, maybe learn some more, maybe get a championship and feel good about yourself.
Correct.
You know, whatever you want to do. I don't think it was a right or a wrong decision. It was what it was. You got hurt either way. So it was obviously, 2024 wasn't the best season for you. But obviously you got through it. Do you know where you ended up in points when it was all said and done?
9th in Pro Sport and 10th in Pro Am.
Okay.
I went into Loretta's like with the possibility of like being able to jump. I was like, man, I can still get into the top 10. I can still go to the banquet and stuff like that. Like that was like my priority goal after I crashed. Like, let's just try and break in the top 10 points, be consistent. And
I understand. I did the same thing in 2022 after I got hurt too.
yeah,
so.
it was like, let's just break in the top 10. Let's get there. So
Yep. Yeah, and I mean, that's the other thing too is, you know, Pro Am this year wasn't much of a class, but 2024, 2023, Pro Sport, Pro Am were both very large classes. Pro Sport and Pro Am are both, I feel like, qualifiers pretty much every round.
yeah. Pro Sport this year was big.
Pro Sport was still big, but Pro Am was not as big as it was in the past.
Pro Am, we were probably averaging 10 riders, which was kind of
it seemed
sad.
like it didn't seem like many people left. It seemed like most people just moved back down.
Yeah,
they were
I think
sick
so
of getting
too.
their butts kicked, so they moved back down.
Yeah. I think there were a lot of guys that did move back down to A and Pro Sport. I'm not gonna like name pick or anything, but hopefully they move back up to Pro Sport and Pro Am, and fill the gate for sure, and then that still leaves Pro Sport to, you know, still be that qualifier class. Like, hey, we got
kind of that transition class.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because A class this year was crazy.
Right.
I liked going watching A class. Like the open 450A. And
not only
all
because
that.
it was a lot of good racing, but you also had the two top WMX riders for most of the season that were in there dicing it up in top 5.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that was exciting too.
Oh yeah.
You know, but yeah, I mean, so there's that, but 2025 happens. 2025 is now over. You know, how has racing been going for you lately? Like this year?
It was really good.
Yeah.
You know, I made a lot of improvement. I had some people step in to help me get down to Florida a couple times.
Yep.
Just from the,
You can shout him
duration. Mr. Alex Beelan, thank you.
Yeah, he's just a great guy for the sport, period.
Oh, he's awesome.
Yeah.
Best dude, most down to earth guy ever.
Yeah. No, he's really cool to shoot the shit with.
Oh yeah. And we were able to get down to Florida a couple times, help me out, and which was huge. Being able to go ride more than, you know, the week during Christmas, like
100%.
And then going into the season, you're just a little bit more confident, you're a little bit more fit.
Right.
Yeah, it was huge. We got to test some different things, and you know, I wish, you know, could have got more time, but sometimes it just doesn't.
You
go
can
the
always
way.
have more time, but again, you're still in school.
Correct. Yeah. That's a big thing.
So that's the thing that a lot of the, you know, younger riders like such as yourself and in your current position, you have other things to deal with. You can't just go down south and train all season long. I know you're doing online classes now.
Yeah.
But you still have schoolwork to do.
Correct. Yeah. And it's like, could I, you know, back again to the whole thing, shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Yeah.
Could I gone to online school? Yeah, but it's not the way it went.
Yeah.
And now I'm in school now. I'm taking some college classes.
Yeah, which is impressive.
Yeah.
And honestly, to me, it's more impressive. And I know I kind of say this too because I know people have done this. You know, you did it last year. Jaden Launderville did it. You know, he graduated going to a school during the week. But, you know, going to an actual physical school,
that was
and
all
doing what you
last
do
year.
is more impressive to me than being down south and doing online school all winter long.
Yeah, that was last year. I was at a trade school going to school 5 days a week. You know, I had a job, had to go work after school as well, and find time to train. And that was like the biggest crunch time of my life I've ever had so far.
Right.
Just absolutely grinding. You know, going to work. And I'm probably whatever. Oh, you go to work. Trust me, until you do it, you do not understand.
Right.
Like just being in school, you have to show up. You have to be there throughout the day.
Right.
To, you know, just to graduate.
Right.
Like,
right.
so
and you're going to public school, correct?
Public school.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's
I gotta be there.
Yeah.
Gotta be there or I don't get the diploma. And that was the biggest thing for my parents. They said, listen, you can keep racing. You better get your diploma. So,
there
you
you
know,
go.
and we're still in school. We got, we got 3/4 of the school year left. I'm going back actually to, my normal public school to take a work release. So I literally needed one credit to get my diploma. And because I always took like some advanced classes during school, some honors classes to get me ahead. And so I'm taking half a semester of English at college, getting my credit, and then I'll go back to school, work, go down to Florida a couple times, come back, and just once I graduate, we'll kind of see what I can do, you know, the following season. But yeah, it's tough. No, it is tough going to school.
Yeah.
So
no, definitely. Yeah. So I mean, you're doing that. Pro Sport Pro-Am, no joke. You know, you really need to try there.
Yeah.
And, you know, the other thing with going down south, you know, you ride up here, we have snow. It's cold.
Yep.
We go to Ram Jam, and it's not the same.
No,
I
not
mean,
at all.
I don't know about you, but I never leave second gear at Ram Jam.
Yeah.
I think we talked about this before. There's that one straightaway that you could, but meh.
Yeah, it was like, you could hit. I was hitting third in the front rhythm section where you you come around the front and then you go
that
double,
like
triple, double out, and then you hit the whoops, hit the third in the straightaway one time, and that was
down
it.
to second.
Back down to second, second for the rest of the rhythm section.
And I feel like you almost do better if you just relax and kind of like cruise on that track.
Yeah.
You know, so it's not really training. It's just a little bit of seat time. It's just you having some fun.
Correct.
So you can't go. Love Ram Jam.
Yeah.
Love riding there, but it's not a place to go to train.
Yeah.
Unless you plan on just doing arena crosses for the rest of your life.
Oh yeah. And I got a dirt bike on that off season too. And I rode there. I was probably riding there once, maybe twice a week. I would pull a little double duty. We'd have the Ram Jam quad rental at night, and then I'd ride the dirt bike during the day. And I never got like fast on it, I guess.
Yeah.
Just seat time. That was the biggest thing.
Twist throttle or thumb throttle on the bike?
Twist throttle.
Oh,
man. You can't do the thumb throttle. So I actually threw a thumb throttle on the 110. It was horrible. It didn't feel natural.
I don't think I could do it on a pit bike. I've never tried it on a pit bike. I will never try it on a pit bike, but I have done a thumb throttle on a full-size bike. I liked it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie.
It just didn't feel right to me,
no?
Especially on the big bike too.
Yeah.
It didn't feel right. So.
Yeah, it takes some getting used to because you're always just used to twisting on a bike. But then, I don't know, to me anyways, it was cool.
Pretty normal.
Once you get used to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you need to go down south and you need to have some time to train. And nothing saying that you necessarily have to go down south to be able to train.
Yep.
You go somewhere where it's not cold, there's not snow on the ground, and there's somewhere where you can ride.
Dude,
do it.
Yeah. 40 degree weather with no snow on the ground and the track is perfect to ride. Dude.
It's better than nothing.
It's a better than nothing.
Right.
Like the 2020... I guess 23 going to 24, my first year of pro sport, we had a really warm winter that year. Cause I specifically remember that because we went to Michigan like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
And that was my off season training because there was no snow. There was a little bit of snow on the ground, but the tracks were open. The sand had the moisture in the dirt and the track was ready to go. Yeah. So
you gotta do what you gotta do.
Oh yeah. And we got to go to Florida. I got to go to Florida a couple times and, we raced that Decker race and I went to Daytona to watch and I got sick Tuesday morning. I woke up so sick. And throughout the rest of the week, I couldn't eat. I was coughing. I couldn't catch my breath. And I was talking to my dad. I was like, I don't even know if you should really come down here because we went with our buddy Randy Cole and Vinny and
oh, that's
Megan.
right. You were with them.
Yep, because Megan has media credentials. She was out taking photos for Supercross. Miss Motomom Design. Shout out to her. She was out taking pictures and stuff. And then we're like, we might as well just kind of stay down here. Let's make a week out of it and
Yeah.
go race the Decker race.
Yeah.
And
there's a class for you to race.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, it just, it makes sense. So we went there, and I ended up getting so sick, and throughout the whole like next 2 weeks after that, because we went to Ram Jam. It got warm at home. I remember we went to Ram Jam, and that's when I wadded it up in the corner.
You know what? Come to think about it too, not to cut you off, but I'm pretty sure it was right after the race. I got sick. I believe Baldwin got sick. Like a bunch of us got sick down there.
Yeah, I don't know what it was, but it was so hard to breathe. And throughout the next like couple weeks, leading up to Georgia, pretty much like the week before Georgia, I couldn't breathe. I would try to do some zone 1 cycling, couldn't even do that. It was horrible.
Gross.
But it was we get the training we can, and we make do with what we got.
Right.
So
yeah, and I mean it's the one downfall of being where we are. And the other thing too is I was going to ask you is, it's hard to say here because where we are, Ohio, it's where there's so many fast people in this area.
Yeah.
But, you go back to other locations, I would say that you're kind of like a local pro. You're not in the pro class yet, but you're one of the fast guys. You go to a local race, you're hitting the money classes and stuff like that. And I know you are one of those guys that hits up the local races to do some money classes or some pro classes. You got to make a little bit of that side cash.
Exactly.
And you go to some of these fair races where you're making more money than a pro at an ATV National makes.
Yeah, and it's crazy sometimes what they throw out there.
What did you come home with at the Matt Bartosik Memorial Race?
Oh man,
I came home with $1,200.
Yeah. So I raced pro sport and 1, 2, 3, 4 pit bike.
Yeah,
all 3 pit bike and a pit quad class. Yeah. I think it made almost $4,000. It was like $3,900. Yeah, I was like, I'm here to race. I'm gonna race everything I can. Screw it. Yeah. So, that was bad. The pit bike racing, because you did it a couple weekends ago, or I did that
at the battle race.
Yeah,
and it's these guys are serious.
Yeah,
I mean, I haven't raced a pit bike in years, and just happens like we have a TTR 110. Screw it, let's take it out. And for somebody that doesn't ride a bike very often, and I was sitting I was in the, I don't even know how I was a total bitch off the gate. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, there's 12, I think, was
there
what
was
we
a
had
lot
in that
of
class.
people. Yeah,
12 people in the game. I'm like, I am gonna be a bitch because I don't want something to happen.
Yeah,
and all of a sudden, next thing I know, I'm in this battle for 3rd place.
Yeah,
and this guy, I don't even know who it was, but this dude's like hard at it. And finally, at like one of the last laps, every corner, I'm feeling a handlebar in my back. I'm like,
just
nope,
you. Yeah,
nope. I backed off, but it's like,
he's not really going that much faster.
No, I was like, I hung with him. I'm like, I don't want his freaking handlebar in my back again.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it's these pit bike dudes are serious.
Oh, yeah. Especially Rebel Mead. He kind of took the Pima thing over. He's been running it and throwing some cash out. And thank you for that. Like, you're kind of bringing people back. Oh, man, there's a little bit of hey, tell your buddies, let's go race.
Right,
let's go race pit bikes, make a weekend out of it, pit bikes.
And that's the thing, too. Like, Rebel he's putting time into it. He's putting, obviously, a lot of money into it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if you're in this area, Ohio, PA, if you're within there's even some Michigan people.
Oh, yeah.
There's Indiana people coming to these races.
Yeah, Mr. Gary.
Yeah. Like, we can always be like, there's Indiana representing because,
just the north, just like the north, I guess, northeast, midwest kind of location. Like,
but if you're in this area, you need to go to Pima Tuning.
Oh, yeah.
And give him some support because he is putting a lot of time, like I said, time, money, effort into this track to give us something to ride. And I know it seems like people like that, and obviously he did his Team Pima thing.
Yep.
And, you find some people that, oh, hey, let's help this guy out for whatever reason. And it just seemed like, there's a couple people that he helped out that were good. And there's a lot of people that he helped out that you probably shouldn't have helped them out because it just went south.
Correct.
So you go online, you've got... what is it? Viva that's shitting all over them.
Yeah,
you've
Viva,
got riders that are shitting all over them.
Yeah.
Like, dudes, shut up.
Yeah.
Like, this is one guy that's trying to run a track on top of running all these businesses.
Yep.
Like, and let's be honest here, finding someone that will just come and help you run a track without, trying to get a bunch of money out of it.
Yeah.
You're not really going to find that right now.
Oh, exactly.
But
you and it comes to a point where it's like, you got to go, regardless of how the event turns out, you got to go support the people who support the racing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, and, there were some times we were racing at 3 a.m. Did you go to that first event that he had last year?
Our first money quad.
Yes.
Yeah.
We raced literally at like 2:30 in the morning.
Dude, we had the money quad class. I then ran the vet quad class after that.
Yeah.
I was the last moto of the night, and the gate dropped at 3 a.m.
That's
for my
crazy.
last moto.
That same night, we loaded up at 5:30 and we headed up. We went to Tri-City to go race there.
Oh, that's right. They had a race.
Yep.
No, it's nuts.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's always been a track that it seems like forever it's the track that starts late and ends late.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
and you gotta
just the way it's always been.
Exactly. But when you go there, you kind of you gotta expect it. But hey, they're going to run the event and it's going to be good.
Right.
And that, like, he went through that thing with Viva and all this, like, you have problems with some, like, whatever he had. I know he had a water issue, and it's just things that just aren't like unpreventable. Like, you can't.
Let's speak about the things that a lot of people won't speak. Art, who owned that track forever, is not getting any younger.
Yep.
He no longer owns the track, but he's still there.
Correct.
Thinking he's running the track.
Yeah.
And it seems like, and I'm not trying to be like, oh, Rebel told me this, Rebel told me that, but this last issue we had at the battle race, we didn't have water right away. Because Rebel had to jump into the pond and fix the pump because
someone ran it dry.
Art decided to run the pump when Rebel said, don't run the pump.
Yep.
Yeah. Rebel had to jump into the pond, reposition the pump, get that all working again so we could have water. Well, then at that point, it's so damn dry because we're practicing that they just had to turn it into a swamp. And, it'll shape up as we go.
Yeah. I mean, it did.
It did at the end.
Yeah.
But, you saw when I came off of that first, I think it was vet.
Yeah.
Vet
we were
race.
covered.
It was nuts.
Yep.
It was like a muddy national.
Yeah.
But... hey, luckily for me, you had a pressure washer. I could wash off real quick.
Yep. And so, no.
But and going back to... oh, go ahead.
He's got that's the thing. He's got so much going on. He's got to be able to run the track, make sure he's got flaggers, people to run the gate.
Yeah.
While he's out on the track, prepping the track, making sure everything's working. We got water and everything else. And then he's got his restaurant that's right up the road. He's got his horse stable that's right up the road. And not to mention all of his, the scrap yards he's running too. It's like... this dude's got so much stuff going on.
He's got a lot on his plate.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like he's solely focused on the motocross part.
Right.
Where
And
a
it's
lot
not
of
like
tracks,
it wasn't a motocross track necessarily. Like, it was a turnkey motocross track.
Yeah.
But look at all the shit he's had to do to this track.
Correct. That place that came a long way from the October race last year to the Map Arts.
That first money race we did last year, where we said that, we're running so damn late. That was middle or end of September last year.
Yeah, because it was a little chilly.
Yeah, I mean, from then to where the track is now, it's leaps and bounds.
Correct, yeah.
But
so the dude's willing to put in effort, and he has been, and he's shown, so you got to just go support and be there for the people who support the sport.
Right. And I think a big thing, too, with that is you're doing all where we got at with this is you're doing all these races because you're trying to collect a little bit of extra cash.
Yeah.
Because racing's not cheap.
No.
If you can do these local races and make a few $100 in a night or whatever, then you've got a track like that that's doing some good payouts. And one thing that I noticed is those 2 big money races we did last year there.
Yep.
Tons of people.
Yeah.
This year, there isn't shit for local turnout.
It's crazy.
It's like he's putting out some money, bringing faster people. I'm not going to call myself that, but faster people such as yourself. And now all these local guys are not showing up because, I can't win. You can still show up and support the track. You can run a different class. Someone like you isn't signing up for a class that's going to get a trophy.
Yeah, no.
You're strictly there because you're going to run the big dog classes where you can make some money.
Exactly.
And hopefully some other people that are quicker show up and give you a little bit of competition to ride against.
Exactly. And that's the thing. It's racing. You don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
Ever.
Right.
You don't ever know what's going to happen.
You never know.
So,
well, I mean, look at, again, last year, Cole Richardson shows up.
Yeah.
On a Woods bike.
Yeah, and you get third. I think you got third
so,
right behind Vince.
Dude rips on a motocross track.
Yeah, he does.
Like, this cross-country guy, cool dude to talk to. You know, I never actually met him before. I've known of him for many years, being that...
Just over in the GNCC world.
Yeah, GNCC world, and he's been a MotoWaz guy. I'm pretty tight with MotoWaz, you know. So, yeah, I knew he was decent at Moto, but I didn't think he was going to blow most people's doors off.
Yeah, and it was full wood setup too.
Like tall tires. It was narrow, like whatever. No, he hauls ass.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully he can get out there some more. But you know, this year, what of your current racing or even some of your past racing, you know, what is some of the highlights or most memorable moments you've had on the quad? I guess we can throw a dirt bike out there too if you want to talk about dirt bikes.
No, that's not as cool. I'm not that good on those. Man, just I guess like the journey itself has been just a whole memory.
Yeah.
You know,
it's what it's all about.
Yeah,
really.
winning let's start from the beginning. Winning my first national at Unadilla, that was huge for me. Like
and that track isn't something to sleep on.
No, that track is awesome.
Yeah.
I wish we could go back. I really do.
Yeah.
I won my first 2015 first year nationals. I won my first overall at Unadilla.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then I guess the next year I won 250 championships in 2016. So that was, I guess, another milestone.
Mm-hmm.
2017 we ran some of the same classes.
And that was 250cc championships, not 250.
Yep, 250.
Just to clarify.
Yep.
Yep.
2018. What happened that year? It was my first full year on a shifter.
Mm-hmm.
Had some crazy battles that year. 2019 would have been.
You're on a 90 mod that
90
year,
mod,
yeah.
Yep. 90 mod junior. This is when we had the junior and senior classes.
Yep.
So that year was a cool year. I wasn't really cool, I should say. I dislocated my shoulder, and that was like really my first big injury.
Okay.
I had broken my wrist like previous, like when I was little, but like that was my first like actual racing injury.
Okay.
I don't know if you're familiar with the track. It was Hoffman Hills.
I'm not.
It's in Ohio somewhere. Okay. We were getting ready for Underground the week before Underground, and we were out there. We've been out there all day riding. Me and Joey Norris, actually, when he was on a 150, he was like a little bit older than me.
Yep.
We were out there, and I was like, all right, I think I'm done. Dad's like, well, just go do 4 more laps.
Oh, shit.
And here it goes. Yep. Third. It was like the third lap I was out there. I caught a dirt bike rut, and it was the slowest fall I've ever had in my life.
Yeah.
And right on my shoulder, just right. Mm-hmm. And yep, I missed Underground. I missed one other race.
Underground and probably, let's see, that year, I think it was Underground, then Ironman.
Yep, Underground Ironman.
Were you at Ironman though?
I was at Ironman.
Okay, yeah, because Ironman that in 2019 is when I didn't meet you, but that's when I met your dad, and was it Tummel?
Yeah, Travis.
Yep. Tummel.
Yep.
Those two were over at Doug's.
Oh yeah,
that's when I met them.
That's great.
Yep.
Yeah, that would have been like the first like real racing injury that kind of struck out my season, I guess. Mm-hmm. I was able to bounce back, and I think I won like every overall from the race I got back, except at Sunset we had mud, and I was like, I'm not going out there.
That wasn't mud.
That was a
monsoon. It was an ocean out there.
Yeah, that was bad.
That was ridiculous.
And I told Dad, I said, I'm not going out there blowing up a bike for a championship I'm not going to be a part of, because I was already down to the maximum. So I was like, it's not even worth it. But the rest of the season, I'm pretty sure I won every single moto, which was pretty cool.
Not bad at all.
2020 COVID. Also, again, that was just a year in itself.
Yeah.
We were racing in October. I ended up winning both 90 championships, the 90 senior, 90 shifter senior, 90 open senior, and a super mini class.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a cool year with just the whole COVID thing, and just it was different. We had a totally different racing schedule.
Yeah.
That was just a different year. 2021, that was 250. First year 250.
Okay. Yep.
I was 13. So we had to get a letter from the AMA to say, hey, he's going to be running the 250 classes. Why can't we just, because the schoolboy and the youth all-star were 14 to 17. It's like, we're already in the 250s.
Yeah,
Like, we're going to be racing the same guys. And they're like, okay, let's see, why not? You know? And a lot of people don't, I guess, know that. So we got the approval, we got the go. And that was a crazy class. Like, I'm going to just throw some names: Mason Jackson, Tino Abatiello, Tom Ebden, Matt Greenwald, Landon Korn, Vince Dillon, Ian Juka, me, Joey Norris. Like, this class was insane. Mark Fiesler. Like, the top 10, I'm pretty sure, were all, like, had winning moto winning potential.
Yeah.
And we had some things go on that season that kind of, like, put my racing career into check. But we went through. I ended up actually getting my first 2 overalls at High Point on a 250 on a big bike. We went through the whole season. And Briarcliff 2021, we came down. It was me, Mason Jackson, and Joey Norris, winner take all at Briarcliff.
That's crazy.
It was the craziest thing ever. And I was able to take it home. It came down to the last moto, like whoever won the last moto or something like that. Whoever won that last moto took it over, and it was me. And then I think Mason got second and Joey got third, or could have been switched. But that was that was the first, like, really, really big accomplishment, because me and Dad had some things go on, and it felt so surreal. Yeah. But yeah, first year on a big bike was great. We did the next year, had and same machines. Went to 2022, had to race Joey Norris, Matt Greenwald, Landon Korn, Vince Dillon, all the same people again. That off season, I actually, I guess a month after the Briarcliff round, we won Youth All Star. Went to Briarcliff, ended up crashing at Briarcliff on Bigfoot, and I broke my.
Yeah, that was that first practice after, right?
Yep, correct. And I broke my right wrist and my left shoulder, and I was out for almost pretty much up until from like the middle of October all the way till Christmas. I didn't ride until we got
the off season.
A long time. We went to, it was all that whole off season. I was at the banquet. I had a cast on one arm, a sling in the other. It was a nightmare. Like, just that whole experience was a nightmare in itself. And we got through it. Went through the whole off season and trained down in Florida a little bit. Got to go down actually a couple times and came back home week before the first national. There you go. Once again. At a guy, Don Chioca. I know you know him. I don't know if you've ever been to his place.
Don Chioca. I haven't yet. I moved here, and then that's when his track kind of got shut down because all that whole thing he had. But he's got some crazy tracks. I've heard he's got some sick.
They
tracks.
are national national caliber. It's like High Point in your backyard. That's like exactly what I imagined.
I've seen a lot of video, especially Vince out there and stuff.
Yep. And we went to his place, rode all day. Sure enough, last moto again. Break my wrist on a jump. I went from third to fourth and the bike falls neutral.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, just right into the base of the jump. And I had like a really bad sting in both my arms. The track was super far away from the truck. So I had to ride the whole rest of the track with a broken arm. I originally thought it was both of them. Because it was just a weird sting. I felt the pain in both, but then I took my left hand off. I was like, oh man, I can this one's fine. This one on the other hand, I'm like, I can feel it. It's my arm. And went back to the truck, and sure enough, it was broke for sure. And missed the first round at Three Palms. Went through the rest of that season, had no riding. I got my cast taken off the Monday before Echecani. I couldn't lift anything up. I was wearing a wrist brace around to try and gain some strength back. Yeah, that was really, really bad. That was a bad mud year too. So I guess it kind of saved my butt a little bit. Salvaged some top 5s, 6, something like that. And went through the rest of that season. It was good. And once again, had 2 championships come down to the line at Loretta's. I had one class where, I don't know, dude, I just couldn't put anything together in the one. But the other 2, like, I was getting pretty consistent results, and that was like the big thing, just being consistent.
Yeah.
Because again, the field was so deep to be in. That's where you just got to be consistent.
Yep.
And we went through all the way to Loretta's. 2 championships came down the line, and basically the last motos on Sunday is what it came down to, and was able to clinch two titles, battling Matt and Joey. I'm pretty sure the one Matt and Joey battled for, that one came down to the line too.
Oh, really?
Literally the second moto of the weekend, and it's crazy having so many riders who can win, and being like, wow,
which is really cool to see, really.
Oh yeah, it makes great racing.
It might suck if you're in it, but anyone else, it's really cool.
It's so stressful. It's like, man, but all you can do is just think, hey, I'm going to go try and win, and whatever happens, happens.
Exactly.
2022 was good. 23, we switched platforms. We went to the Yamaha platform.
That's right. You did a Yamaha motor, or a Yamaha chassis with a KTM motor.
Yep, because you did my graphics. I
did your graphics at Gatorback.
Yep. Thursday night or something. We had no R&D on that machine. We got those 2 because we didn't even know we were going to race nationals. It was almost like a Max Lindquist type of situation. We're like, if we run another year and just say, all right, we're done, and we'll come train on a 450 and just get ready for that. But then we kind of waited out. And we're like, I kind of still want to get some gate drops in. I don't know what I'm going to miss, just not being there.
Yeah.
So we kind of just said, okay, let's put 2 bikes together and see what we can get. The week before Gatorback, we're completely just finishing 2 brand new builds and 0 time on them, roll them out of the trailer with stock plastic and everything else. But yeah, and then we just went through that whole season, found some things out. We're able to clinch 2 titles in 23, and
there you go.
Actually, I really liked then that was like the biggest thing. Like, I didn't ever think I would like the Yamaha platform.
Okay.
And I wish I would have got on it sooner.
Yeah.
I really do. It was just, it felt stable, and I try, like, when people ask me, like, why didn't you like your Hondas? I do like my Hondas.
Yeah.
I had actually a TRX, we had the TRX chassis, but we also had the JB chassis, which was based off the TRX.
That's right.
And it had the Yamaha rear shock setup with it. Like,
well, it was a dirt bike setup, or was yours? Yeah, because they had, essentially, because I built the first one of those.
Okay.
It was Noah Mickelson's. Well, Noah and Johanna had that first, like, full size. But essentially what Jody did is he took the mid-size 250 chassis, stretched it.
The ones that everyone looked way too big riding.
Oh, yeah, because it was like a 300EX that, if you're taller than 5'6" or so.
You look like a monster on it.
But he took that platform, he stretched it, and because they had to run a carb YFZ radiator, made it so it took the TRX radiator, and just obviously he massaged some stuff, but then made it so it was essentially that JB mod front end. You get the dirt bike rear end, but it's a full size platform. As far as the dimensions go, you could fit the 450 plastic and seat on. So that way you can be more comfortable on it.
Yeah.
And then obviously there are a couple of those with a 450 in them as well.
Yeah. So Bryce Ford had one, and I know they got rid of one. They kept one. They got rid of one.
Yeah, I think there's one hanging in their shop still.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's
that might be the 250 actually.
Yeah, I think that was his championship bike 250. But I got to ride the 450.
Oh, did you?
Wicked.
Yeah.
So wicked. Yeah. And I was always used to the vibration just because of mods. They vibrated.
Right.
And
with the KTMs especially.
The KTMs especially. And that's kind of a cool thing. I want to talk about that in a minute.
Yeah.
With the whole KTM thing. But I got to ride that bike, and that thing was so fast.
Oh, yeah.
It was like, I think it was bone stock, and maybe had a piston in it, and that thing ripped.
Yeah.
People were like, oh, it vibrates my hands, it vibrates my feet. I was so used to it. I was like, I can go do a 12, 15 minute moto, and that was long for me back then. So I was like, it's all right, but it's fast.
Yeah,
it was so fast.
I never got to ride the full size ones, but I rode Noah Mickelson's mid-size 250 practice bike, which was it was a 300 Rage motor, but I mean it was fast. But yeah, I mean you're riding a fast 300EX size, 300EX plastic. It was fun. I'm not gonna lie, but
Yeah, you just feel like a giant.
Yeah.
And, Dan Tvergiak, him and JB built the mid-size. They had a mid-size chassis,
Yeah.
and they put a 200 or a 150, a KTM 150 two-stroke in it.
Oh.
And bored it out to a 200.
Damn.
Yeah. So my brother was going to race that at PVR this year.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Man, it's not running right." Or I was like, "I don't know. Like, you might not be riding it right. Like, it's been a while since you rode a two-stroke,
Yeah.
dude. You were on the 250 last year." Because he's been on and off with the whole riding thing. And I was like, all right, let me get on this thing.
Yeah.
I got on it. I blew it up. Locked the crank up.
Oh, that's right. Because I remember hearing that you blew up his bike.
Yep. And I went out there. I was ripping it, though.
Yeah.
I was riding it pretty good. And then, it was like, it started getting slow. I was like, oh, no.
To be fair, how many times have we been to like Briarcliff or something? Like, Hambone blew up.
Yeah. No, twice it was.
Yeah, Briarcliff alone.
Briarcliff, twice at Briarcliff. That was it. So I was like, I guess I got a little bit payback.
Yeah, so
but
there
I
you
felt
go.
bad. I couldn't race, but
Yeah. But, it is what it is.
yeah, I don't think he was too bummed. I think he went golfing or something, and he was all right. So
Whatever.
but yeah, the switching platforms thing.
Yeah.
The Yamaha was just, it was superior.
Yeah.
It was so good, man.
What are you gonna say about the KTM's?
Oh yeah, so a lot of people were like, everyone was so gung ho about the Hondas back like when we got on the 250s, and I know Mason, they had KTM's, like they were able to get KTM's too, so they kind of understood. But
They've always been a KTM family for the most part.
For sure. Like on the minis, that's how we were too.
Yeah.
All our super minis and 85s, those were all KTM, but we kind of had like a little hookup there because the old KTM facility is in Amherst, Ohio.
I was gonna say, I know up in that area there's
So we were able to like get our hands on a couple like engines and stuff, and those things were just, they were so good. They were we had a stock KTM 250 we threw in a bike, and I think we had like 80 hours on the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like the end, like stock crank, stock piston, and we ran it. It was the practice bike. But we kind of I feel like we kind of paved that way for the KTM for a while, because everyone wanted the 65, the KTM 85, like from 2020 to 2023, 24. Everyone wanted a KTM 250. They wanted the KTM engine just because it was such a strong engine.
It made more power, and I think like you said, everybody was Honda for the longest time. I think it was just the simplicity of a Honda.
Yeah,
because that's why we always ran. Well, Root River was always just a Honda team.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of people they could get their hands on it. They could get their hands on a dirt bike for a decent price, or even just the engines.
I'm not going to sugarcoat this either. Most people are just a bunch of sheep.
Yep, they follow the crowd.
Because you go back to 2015 and some of the years around there, in the 90 classes, there is KXs and RMs winning. So everybody had to have a PR2 KX or PR2 RM. And then the KTM started winning. Everybody's got to have a KTM.
Yep.
The 250 class, same way. It was all Hondas. And then, some KTMs are winning. Oh, we got to buy KTMs.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is. And that's why we'll have a lot more conversations about this in the future. But that's why this sport keeps getting more and more expensive, is because one person steps up, spends some more, or finds this weird thing that works.
Yeah.
Well, now take my money. I got to have that.
Yep. And I feel like now it's like everything is so, I guess I'm speaking for the mod stuff.
Yeah.
Everything's so YZ now. Everyone wants a YZ two-stroke. Everyone wants a YZ 85 Super Mini. Everyone wants a YZ 250 motor for the 250 mod class.
Yeah.
So,
and I always wanted to do that just because I'm a Yamaha guy. When that 65 came out, I wanted to do a YZ 65 mod for somebody just because I want a Yamaha mod.
Yeah.
I want to do a YZ 85 mod. Nobody really does it.
Yeah.
But just because it's a Yamaha motor. And the same thing with the 250s too. Like I like Yamahas.
Yep. No, hey, you're not wrong about the whole everyone, follow the crowd kind of type thing, but I mean, and it's not like the bikes aren't proving themselves, like the engines aren't proving themselves.
Right.
So, I mean, I guess you got to go with what you think's right. And,
right. But at the same time, you've got, there's so many people that are spending all this money on these machines. But then if you get the right rider, Grant Olson is an example that I always think of because it was in 2019 or 2020. He won, I think it was in 2019, he won 90 mod championships on stock CR85 engines. No porting, no boring, no stroking, stock CR85 motors.
Wow.
And won championships. You know, so it just goes to show, like, you don't necessarily have to spend all of this money. You kind of need to just be comfortable
on what you got.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like you saying switching platforms. You felt way more comfortable on the Yamaha. You wish you would have done it sooner. But at the same time, like, yeah, it worked out. It doesn't always work out for everybody.
Yeah.
You know, this whole like Yamaha the world. I'm going to say yeah, because again, I love Yamahas. I have a bunch of them, but it doesn't work for everybody.
Yeah.
You know, there's been many people that I've seen that have made the switch to Yamaha and they have nothing but issues.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you see a lot of guys go from the TRX CRF hybrid and they go to the Yamaha and they're like, man, this thing,
work.
they just
Or they're
don't
always
like
breaking something or
Correct.
whatever.
Yeah, some things are just easier for others. But a little side note on the whole stock CR85 thing. There's a story that Joel could not run a built CR in his mods way back when he was on the 85s.
Yeah.
Because Michelle and Rich said he would just blow them up.
Yeah.
So they just would give him stock engines, and that was it. So
Well, and Joel was also, he was
an animal.
he was an animal. He was wicked fast in the schoolboy senior class on a Z400. Obviously, this is before 250s.
Yeah.
But he was fast as shit on a Z400. And I really want to see where a goods built Z400 will stack up now. I know we've talked about
We
this
talk
before.
about that one.
And I have it. It just needs to get done.
Yeah. Well, did you see the one at Summit this year? The white one with all the blue and chrome roll design? That thing, yeah.
I've talked to that guy. He was at Briarcliff this year.
Oh, really?
He hauls ass on it.
Yeah.
And it is a 400.
That's crazy.
It used to be a big bore. Now it's a 400 because he blew the big bore up. And he goes pretty damn good. I mean, he was giving a lot of 450s a run for their money.
Oh, yeah. I didn't see him ride at Briarcliff, but I saw the bike and I saw him ride at Summit. I was like, dude, dude's not bad. And the bike's pretty clean. It's pretty sweet.
It looks good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. No, so I mean, that's a lot of things that, you know, we'll talk about that later on. But I mean, it works for some people. It doesn't work for others.
Yeah.
Have you ridden a TRX chassis since you switched? Are you one of those people that can go back and forth and kind of ride different shit, or once you get onto one thing, it's kind of like,
That's the thing. I don't think I have.
Okay.
I think I might. 2023, I guess, when we were fighting some issues with how the how the bike was working. Like, we didn't understand that. Like, we just didn't know that when the bike compresses on the way that the motor was tilted, it was pulling the chain tighter. So we were tightening the chain too tight.
Yeah.
And then once the rear shock wouldn't compress, and then we'd lose all the drive. Get no traction.
Yep.
And we kind of figured that out eventually.
Yep.
But I think I did ride one of my old bikes at Sunset in 2023.
Okay.
And I did okay with it, but I was like, I just want my machine back, shock set up for me, the controls and everything else. But I'm sure if I had like a machine that was set up for me and what I liked on it, I'm sure I could figure it out. It would definitely take a minute.
Okay. Have you ridden like an LTR or a KFX or any of the other those are all 450s, of course, but have you ridden any of the other platforms that we don't really see, or even a DS?
No.
Not really?
No. I rode a TRX with a TRX in it.
Yep.
Was like, that was at the time I was on the 250, so it felt similar.
Okay,
The power was different. The way the engine ran was
had
different.
Some grunt.
Yeah. Rode the Yamaha, and then the only other machine I've rode that is not was not one of those two. I guess I rode a Yamaha with the YZ hybrid in it, and then I rode Dane Molander's Walsh 250s.
Okay.
At Sunset in 2020 because we thought we were going to go that route.
Okay.
But I rode them at Sunset. Really liked them. They were set up super good.
They're good.
And I was just too short at the time.
Okay.
I was too little.
Yeah.
I hadn't hit a growth spurt. I was, the super mini, like the JB mods were like perfect size for me. and then the wall. It was too big. I was just a little too short.
I
but
can see that.
I did really like that platform. But other than that, no, just been Yamaha and Honda.
Well, we'll have to go riding sometime. I'll bring some of the machines. You can.
Oh yeah, I'm not sure what you got in that garage.
I mean, I've got. Don't want to give out all my info, but in the long run, I want to have one of each.
Oh yeah,
450. So I've got the YFZs. I've got Carb EFI YFZs. Okay. I've got an 0405 TRX with a Protrax, Lager Protrax front end on it. I've got an LTR. I'm gathering some parts yet, but I have most of the parts to build a DS.
Okay.
I'm trying to get a KX or a KFX, and then if prices ever go down on a KTM, that's the other thing is I buy shit cheap.
Yeah.
I'm one of those guys because I'm going to rebuild it. I'm going to make it mine anyway.
Exactly.
So
make it
I want
own.
that low price. I'm not spending 8, 9, 12 grand for a.
It's got some stuff done, but stuff you're not going to have on it.
Right.
In the long run.
Yeah, I buy roached stuff that has good bones, and I'm going to tear it all down and rebuild it anyways.
Yep.
So, but yeah, we'll throw your leg over some other stuff.
Sounds good.
But what do you? Obviously, you're going to school. You're working. Just curious, other things you are doing outside of racing. What are you doing do you just have a part-time job?
So I work for a roofing company right now. We make like roofing samples of different kinds of like roofing systems.
Okay.
I'm kind of on and off with that. I kind of do it as I like, I guess as I please in a sense. I have like a smaller role with my boss because he understands. He was like, is my dad's like best friend when he was growing up together. Yeah. He raced, he understands it.
Yeah.
So he's like, I'll give you some projects when you want some projects. Get them done for me, and we'll get you squared away. Nice. But I really do like that. Like that is like one of the jobs because I worked at the tree service my dad works at before.
Okay.
I've had a retail job that they suck.
Yeah.
They're not fun at all. It's not like I'm not a people person, but dealing with your average person per se
it's very
is a lot different.
It is very different. And knowing that you worked retail for a little while, it does explain a lot.
Yeah.
I think that everybody needs to work retail at some point in their life.
Yes. Retail or go be a waiter. I feel so bad for waiters and waitresses.
Right. But both of those, and it's not just you work at Target, you work at Walmart stocking shelves. Work a job where you have to sell
talk
something.
To people and sell something. Yeah.
Right. Like do you have something to say? I worked retail off and on for many years at a power sports dealership. Before I worked, I was a parts guy and then became a parts manager. But before that, I would talk to people, but I wasn't open like I am now. Like you work retail, it gets you out of any shell you might have because in order for you to make money, you have to talk to people. You have to open up and just walk up to random strangers like you know them and just start conversations.
Correct. Yeah. And that's like, I guess I didn't work the retail you're thinking of. I guess like selling parts, but I worked at a crash register and whatever.
You still have to talk to people.
Yeah, exactly. You still got to walk around, make sure, did you find what you're looking for? Do you need help?
Yes, exactly. And that was my end of the retail. That was the biggest thing. Cause you're actually, sitting at a parts counter all day wasn't what I was doing. I was out on the floor selling gear, teaching people
let's try
about
this
stuff.
On. Just asking questions. Oh, well, here's the whole background detail.
Exactly.
Oh, I got you hooked on a helmet. Let's go get you fit.
Right. And I mean, if you are into this kind of stuff, that is a job that you can look at because me having that job and doing that, I became really good. I'm kind of a tech nerd when it comes to all the specs on gear. Like I geek out on that stuff.
Yep.
Which then led me to being a brand ambassador for Fly Racing, traveling around selling gear at snow shows, getting free gear myself and doing all sorts of stuff. So you never know what this can honestly, me working in the parts department at a dealership is what got me my job at being a race mechanic for Root River Racing.
Yeah.
Because they were a customer of mine, found out all this stuff. I'd ride with them. I'd start helping them. And then all of a sudden, Rich Gillette calls me one day and
says, hey, you want a job?
Hey, when are you going to work for me? Yeah. So, but, that explains a lot, like I said, with you and how open you are and the way you talk to people, that really shows.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, And then the other thing too with your current job is, you are still in school. That takes priority over your job.
Correct.
You know, to you and your personal priorities, racing comes a little bit before it too, because you are still young and you're not at the point necessarily where you need to have your life career.
Correct. Yeah. And like my dad's a salesperson too, so that could be another thing. Like I get it from that. He is like he won't tell you, but he's a people person. He'll go. He's like we call him a social butterfly.
Oh
dude.
yeah.
He's always around talking to people. But I've gone to like, I guess I've gone to like see what he does, and he does a lot more than meets the eye. Like he's always on the phone with clients and contractors and this that, but. I guess I kind of get that from him. So, talking to people isn't necessarily a thing, but when it was having to be there and then dealing with, you can't always deal with the good, you deal with the bad too. But when I was at my job, a lot of it was just like not fun. Like you talk, like you said, talking to the average person is not, it's different. Yeah. It's a lot different. Yeah. So, and that's why I like my job now. I've come to understand that I'm a hands-on person. Yeah. I really like to pay attention to detail too. And what I do takes a lot of detail, and
which is good.
So that's why like he's always, and my boss always talked to me too. He's like, hey, like if you ever need a full-time job, let me know and we can get you set up.
There you go. There you go.
But no, other than being in school and being in work, it's just that's what I do. Work, school, race. That's it.
There you go. So you don't do any sports, anything like that?
I ran track for a couple years, and I was always getting hurt because of racing. So being at the practices wasn't really beneficial for my time. Yeah. Played a little bit of rec basketball, and that was pretty much it. Yeah. I just did racing, and that was the priority. So
no other hobbies or skills that you besides racing?
Dirt bikes. Ride anything with wheels, really, other than a skateboard. Stay away from the skateboards. Scooters, dirt jumpers, mountain biking. Yeah. That's all up my alley. I have pretty fun time doing that. Not like much of like the ball sports anymore. I was really into basketball though for like a long time. Yeah. Like you could name a random player back then, and I was like, I had the stat sheet on him. I knew everything about him.
You need to have some more conversations with my son Colton. Then holy shit.
Now I don't know who plays for what team, and if they're even around anymore. Like this is not the ball sports kid I used to be. It's more motorsports and. Hey, if it's got wheels, let's go ride it.
I get it. No, so there's no Noah that was a singer, a musician, or anything like that. No.
So I did play in band during school. Okay. Played the tuba.
Right on.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And that was it. Did that for 5th, 6th, 7th grade, and after that I was like, I'm done carrying this thing home from school. I was like, this is
the
dumb.
Big case.
Yep. I said I'm done with that. Yeah. So. Yep. I was a subpar musician.
Hey, at least you tried it.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people came and say they tried it.
Right.
So awesome. Well, let's talk about the future a little bit. Where do you see yourself in the future? Where do you see your future within ATV community, ATV racing?
Well, the whole goal, I guess. The dream is to just go pro.
Okay.
That's the goal. That's the dream. That'll be one of those check boxes at the end of the day when I was a little kid, like, hey, I did it. You know what I mean? Once that checkbox is off, then I feel like the goals kind of switch around. Like, hey, let's start working towards top 10s and top 5s and maybe a podium, maybe a moto win, maybe an overall. Like there's so many little steps that lead to, hey, the overall, hey, the multiple to the championships. Those are always in the back of my mind, I guess, but they're not necessarily in the forefront of what
You're not
I still
expecting
have
to go pro in a year or two and just start getting championships.
Correct, because it's just, 9 times out of 10, that's just not how it goes.
No,
not at all.
No. And I think that's a big thing is people don't realize, like, you think, it's a big jump going to pro. Whatever you think, it's nine times bigger than that.
Oh yeah. Well, and because then you're going into a class, you're the rookie, you're the fresh meat per se, and you got guys that have been doing this for 5 years, 6 years, or
Right.
even 2, like they had the experience under their belt running those long motos, and I guess now running those Triple Crown sprint races. Like that was that was a super cool thing. With this year, but they had the experience.
Right.
So I think just within the next year, I'd like to just be more prepared before I make that jump.
Yeah.
So I'm probably not going to make the jump to pro class. Get a little spoiler, I guess.
Yeah. Try to stay down, maybe get a championship or two.
Yeah, and it's not even about the championship. At the end of the day, I think it's about consistent results. It's about just knowing, hey, I can run this moto to at my 95-100% the whole time and not get tired.
Right.
Like, and that's like the last 2 races. That's how it was. That's how it was for me. Like Pleasure Valley and Briarcliff, I was like just riding more, training more, and it progressively got better throughout the season. I was able to just go through the entirety of the moto at my absolute best and not fade. So, and that was the biggest, and I would like to have that for a full season and not just be the last couple rounds or whatever it may be.
Well, I mean, you think about it. I unfortunately got a front row seat at Briarcliff, in Pro-Am anyways. You and Joey were way out in front of everyone else. And Joey, I mean, it was his first race back. Well, no, he came back.
No, that was his first race back.
Was it his first at full speed?
No, that was his first. That was like his first race back. He raced pro the day or Saturday. That was his first one.
Right. Well, I thought the round before that, maybe
PVR.
Yeah,
he was rolling. Remember, he was.
Oh,
rolling.
that's right. Yeah, he was. Yep. So it was his first race back at like actual race pace.
Correct. Because he crashed at Tomahawk.
Yeah.
And then
crashed at Tomahawk. Rolled PVR. Yep. And then came back and actually race paced at Briarcliff. But I mean, you guys battled both motos. Correct?
Yeah. From literally start to finish, especially the firch one. Literally from start to finish, it was, where's this guy at? You know, or the gap kept cat and mouse the whole time. And then I was able to get the moto win in the first moto, and then second moto, I was like second off the start. I made a really fast pass up through the split lane. And then led every single lap from there. Yeah. And I pulled, I don't know, it was like a 5-second gap, 6-second gap. I think it was at its biggest. And then once that 2-lap cord came out, I managed it. And, obviously Joey had a championship on the line. So he had all right, let's just manage this championship. Yeah. Okay, it's my first race back. But you could see, he still had that let's go, like in him for sure.
Which is good.
Oh, yeah. So...
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, and this year was your first full season on the big bike.
Yep.
So, I mean, staying down, doing Pro Sport Pro-Am for one more season, I don't think is a bad idea.
No.
I know there are a few people that are going to bump up into the pro class next year, but...
And that's the thing too. It's like it all depends on what you feel you're ready for and what your situation is. Right. Are you gonna, do you have the opportunity to go stay somewhere and be able to ride throughout the rest of the off season, or do you not have that opportunity, or do you have the funding? Do you not have the funding?
Yeah.
Are you at that speed? Are you not at that speed? There's so many factors that are like.
And at this point where you're at too, it also kind of comes down to, all right, what's my long-term goal here? What is my plan? If you're going to plan on sticking with it for a while, stay down for another year. Mature a little bit more. Get that experience.
Yep.
If you plan on hanging your boots up in 2 years, maybe
just make
that jump so you can ride pro and then be done.
Yep. Yeah, again, but my goal is to, I guess the long term is to keep racing pro class and eventually check off some of those boxes I mentioned earlier. And that's why another thing I'm like, I'm in no rush. So
you're young.
Yep. Yeah. I just turned 18 2 days ago.
Yeah.
So
crazy.
It is nuts. It's crazy.
Yeah. And I know we kind of talked about your job and stuff like that, but when you're decide that even before your career is over, do you ever see yourself making some sort of career out of ATVs and ATV racing?
I'm not sure. I think that's one of those things that just kind of maybe comes natural. Maybe whether it's like an ambassador position or maybe just stay riding and train kids, train the youth, train the next generation. I've held a riding school before.
Yep.
That was a blast.
Yeah.
That was like a really good like experience to be able to like understand what different riders at different skill levels are thinking, how they ride, what they're doing differently, and being able to help them, critique them, and try to lead them in the direction you think is best. Because, at my skill level, I'm not the fastest guy in an ATV, but I know...
Doesn't mean you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah. And so being able to, just be in the teaching position, being the teacher, that was just a cool experience. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of one of those things I feel like it would just have to fall into play to still be around in the sport.
It's just there's so many different things, and when you look around to all the different people that are involved with this sport, you've got people that are involved by manufacturing product for, to support this. Like myself, I'm a professional carny for this racing. I build bikes and not at this point, kind of run a program for somebody and do all this stuff behind the scenes. But, there's all sorts of different things you can do. And then, if you're doing things right, you can show up to the track and be getting paid.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know. Who knows? It seriously is one of the things that I feel like would have to become natural. I mean, look at Nick Shanusha. He opens his own training facility to, I guess from the get-go it was supposed to be for him to, be able to stay home and train, but then it turned into a big business because where he's located, there's not many places to ride. So there's a lot of guys that ride dirt bikes and four-wheelers, and he holds schools and does different things. Yeah. And he said he's been so busy with that business itself, it takes up a lot of his time. So I mean, he's still in the sport in a sense. It might not necessarily
he's not on the gate
track
next year, but he's still involved, and hopefully people within our series realize, okay, this is another place we can go and help support him.
Correct. Yeah.
And because it is nice having that. And you look at all these dirt bike guys that have systems like that. They bought a track or they opened a track and they do different training regimens and all this other stuff. And they're making a living off of trying to develop the next class of rider.
Correct.
He is now basically doing that in our world, where there isn't much of that. Yeah,
and having the facility he's got, and having the people who are wanting to come out and train there, it creates another dynamic for him to run a business. I really like to use in the motocross world, like the dirt bikes, is the Moto Academy. They're like AJ Canzaro. It's just straight training schools. Yeah. Like he goes to some tracks like TV Land that's like right at the end of Ohio.
Right, not that far away from here.
Yeah. And there's so many different things you could do outside of just racing that you're still involved.
Exactly. No. And there's a lot of different gaps that can be filled on our end, especially when you look at the dirt bike side and how things are done. I mean, essentially, you've got Brandon Hogue that knows a lot about fitness and a lot about that. Yep. Why is he not? And obviously, he's involved with his own race career right now. But he is somebody that in the next few years, or whenever he decides to kind of wind down a little bit, he could essentially start becoming like the ATV side Alden Baker.
Yeah.
That guy that's there training. He's already helping train the current multi-champion. Yep. And he's training or helping with nutrition or whatever with all sorts of riders out there. Yeah. At what point, and I mean, let's be honest here, there's no money in the sport, but to be in the sport, you can't be broke. Yeah. Correct. Not everybody is these,
millionaires.
Yeah,
and has
millionaires that have a lot of money. But there are people in our sport that could afford to hire somebody like Brandon Hogue to come in and basically train their kid or rider or whatever.
Correct. Yeah. I did Brandon's program. Awesome program. I think he just released a thing where him and his brother Blake are going to do like a conjoined training thing. To try and get more riders involved on the bike side and the 4-wheeler side. So that was a new thing I did see from him. But yeah, he does a great job with his training regiment and everything else. But yeah, there are so many different kind of doors you can.
There's
open.
a lot of different things that can be done.
Yeah.
And so many things that could slowly create our sport to evolve into something closer to what the dirt bikes are at right now.
Yes. Yeah, for sure.
So, but yeah, I mean, with all that then, and we know what you want to do, but what do you want to see in the future of ATV racing as a whole, such as, format for going forward, something that you want to see the series do, companies to get involved, anything. What do you want to see?
I think the biggest thing that a lot of people in the sport right now is sometimes just a little bit of recognition. I think that is honestly the biggest thing where people are like, why are we not getting recognized? And Gloop, I'm going to be honest, he does a great job. He runs the ATV motocross page, correct?
He runs the ATV motocross page. He
Rip It Up
runs his.
Films,
He runs
Decker.
He runs Decker's. I don't know if he's still running the Phoenix ATV page or not. He was at one point, anyways.
Yeah, I'm not too sure, but he dude, he is.
Is he running ATV Clown Cross? We'll never know.
Yeah, I would love to know who's running that. Did you see the Euro Clown Cross?
Yeah.
Did you see that?
There's a new one?
There's a European.
I did not see that
dude.
yet.
There was a Euro
which is
Clown
good.
Cross
Which is
thing.
good.
Yeah, it's great. They were already taking some blows at the Team USA thing. I was like, oh, great. You guys are going to have one rivalry for.
Obviously, this is right. This is literally a couple days after that race has happened. I'm going to be getting Gloop on here soon, which is something that I've been trying to do for a while, but obviously he's a busy man.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be interesting getting him on here about that race and things like that. There's a lot of things that can be said. And hopefully I can do some more stuff here soon about that race and get not only myself, but a lot of other people to kind of speak their minds on, what the hell happened.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we had 20, we won 17, 18, 19 they won. And then what year did they go back? 22 or 23?
I think it was 22 is the first year back.
So then they won.
I think 20 and 21 we didn't go because 2020, I believe it got canceled.
Yep.
Then the following year.
It was just travel issues.
It was so much, a lot of crap that had to be done for us to go.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, when you have riders that have come over here and raced, and I mean, not to shit on them because they are phenomenal riders, but when they come over here and race and they don't do that hot, and then over there,
they're the top dog.
Well, they won a moto?
Yep. It's a lot different. Even looking at that track, it was a motocross. It was a track, but it was not a caliber track that we've seen that was racy enough. It was a track that was you are out there for the duration, and who is the best fit and probably the smartest rider to navigate that track.
Well,
and who can
not only
handle
that,
it.
but who had the best setup? Because I don't believe we had the right setup.
No, I think there was definitely some marks missed with maybe
we went over there full blown motocross bikes, and that's not what you needed.
Yeah, well, a lot of the machines that they run over there are actually dirt bike chassis.
Well, you've got the W-Techs and stuff like that, which are just a lot of the stuff they do over there is just wild, ridiculous stuff. Yep. And come over here and it's probably not gonna do shit on what we do.
No,
but we just found out that our stuff doesn't always work.
Correct. I mean, and that's the thing. We got to a different track, and they kind of understood it was all right, we need to do something different if we come to a come to a track like this ever again because I mean we went to Chingoli and that was a motocross track. That was what we were used to.
Chingoli was a sweet track.
Yeah.
I mean
Crazy
it
elevation.
was a motocross track. The only thing that made it weird is it looked like it was made out of a gravel road.
Yeah.
The terrain there, I mean, because we were standing right along the track, up like the finish line straight, and they would, we're right by the first corner there. You had to stand back and like shield yourself because they'd come in, pitch that bike, and you get pelted.
Oh wow, but
yeah, otherwise that was a motocross track just made out of gravel.
Yep. Oh yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I mean it's crazy some of this stuff, and now we know. Like I said, our stuff doesn't always work everywhere.
Yeah, but back to the whole what I would like to see is just just some recognition.
Yeah.
And I think I think we need to do. I've got a lot. I can touch on this a lot.
Let's go.
So I've always thought about what if we ran. Why don't the pro guys? I mean, it kind of takes away from the series, but why can't the pro guys race at Fridays and Fridays with the dirt bikes over in their pro motocross type of thing, like they did before, like Steel City? I'm pretty sure 2009.
Well, and in I don't remember when we stopped doing that. Then our most recent was
the Ironman 2019.
But yeah, I mean it's. I go back and forth on my feelings with this.
Yeah.
Because as someone that loves this sport and everything else, I do like how it is now because you can race a national series at the age of 4.
Yeah.
All the way up till you're dead. You know? But if we were to do something like that where our pros raced Fridays with the dirt bikes, our national series just died.
Would blemish. Yeah.
So we either have to, then you need to get local tracks and local series to have racing in order to have some sort of Loretta's qualifier type series.
And that's where I was going to is what if that's like when the pro guys go race with the bikes? Yes. They get to go race these crazy tracks. And why don't we do a Loretta's type format for quads? Think about how many guys that are up in the New England states that every single drive for them is 12 plus hours.
How about all the people that are racing out west?
Yeah. Yes. Out west too. All the works guys.
The quad cross series that's out there. There's all sorts of racing throughout this country. We don't ever, you get a couple, like this year at Sunset, there's a few works guys that trekked over.
But it was still, how many hours did they say? Like 14 hours to Sunset?
I mean, I've driven out west before. Like that weekend, Sunset, I wasn't there this weekend this year because I was in Wyoming and it was a damn near 20-hour drive. Well, it was over 20-hour drives from here to Wyoming.
Oh, yeah. So
it's wild. When from Minnesota, because I lived in Phoenix for a while, from Minnesota to Phoenix, it was like 30 hours.
Right there. And that's insane. And like
24, something like that.
I just think it would be so much cheaper to be able to go hit a regional or if you had
a local series that you can race within, then you've got a qualifier that you go to. Then you qualify there to get to the next qualifier.
Yep.
And then you have some time out. So, I mean, if whatever local stuff, and let's be honest, if there's a local series and you're not racing locals, what the hell are you doing? Period.
Yeah.
You need to do locals because not only is that a form of training for you, that's the only actual race training you're going to get is going to local races.
Getting the gate drops and a couple sprint laps, regardless. I mean, because a lot of the A classes only run 5 laps or 6 laps or whatever it may be, but that's sprint training for you.
Right.
But I don't know, man. A lot of the local races,
we get spoiled here.
Yeah, we do. We really do with all the great people, like I said, Paima and Tri-City. Like they were doing such a good job with paying us to be able to come race. But I've gone to some local races, man, and it's getting expensive.
It is.
$40 a class, $45 a class. They're charging gate fees. They're charging camping fees. And it's like, where do you draw the line to go race 10 nationals a year or 9 nationals a year versus racing a local race every other weekend from the beginning of April all the way till October?
Right.
So it's just prices are starting to go up, and I just feel like maybe if we had the same format as those guys to go do your area qualifiers, your regionals, you can travel or you can stay within your region and still try and qualify.
Right. And if you're that dedicated, you don't qualify at this one, well, now you're going to have to travel over here to try to qualify at this one.
Correct.
You might have to travel, So your traveling is up to how serious you want to get with it.
Yeah, and that's a thing too. Like, it also takes the same dynamic, I feel like, with the bike guys, because they only take so many people. But now, in our race population, we don't have near any close to what the dirt bike guys have.
Right.
But we can only fill half the gate.
Right.
We got twice the wheels. We take up 2 gates.
Right.
So now you're only getting 20 riders on the gate.
Right.
You're getting the fast 20 guys, not
Exactly.
the fast 42 or whatever gets to Loretta's.
Yep.
So when you go to a regional, or if we were to have regionals and area qualifiers now, we're taking the same dynamic because we don't have as many riders that go. But it would be a lot cheaper, and I think it would also make the racing a lot interesting because now you have less qualifying spots.
Right.
To be able to get to the regionals and to get to Loretta's or wherever event at the end of the race season it may be.
Right.
So,
but I mean, if you're to do that, you're going to take people from our series, which our national series is an East Coast series.
Yep, it is.
Let's not lie.
East Coast dominant, and a little bit Midwest when you go to Sunset.
A little bit of Midwest. I mean, technically we're Midwest.
Yeah,
but you've got the national series. You've got, like we said, we got the quad cross that's up in the west, northwest.
Yep.
You got Works. You've got NEATV. You got New England quad cross.
D6.
D6.
D14.
Yeah, all these different series. D20. And that's, if you want to go with but those are all your, what are supposed to be pretty bigger series.
Yep.
Then you got whatever districts, AMA districts that are left. And you do have some, outlaw series out there. If you took all of these people and did something like that, where you got to qualify to go to one event, we probably have no idea what our actual numbers are.
Yeah, because there's so many people who just can't afford to go travel.
Right. Travel across the entire country to go race this series
10 times a week or 10 times a year.
Right.
From back and forth, gas is so expensive. The entry fees to get to the races are expensive. You got the grocery bill every time. You got the water bill to fill up your RV every time. You've got just the entry fees, the race fees, the fuel that doesn't even include any maintenance for your machine because you have to run a series now.
Right.
And I don't know. I just think it would be a lot cheaper. You wouldn't have to have four ATVs that cost 30, 40 grand a piece to be able to go race this series
Nowadays,
all year.
it's almost 40, 50.
Yeah, exactly. And the bike guys, they're only limited to run 2 classes. So I feel like you could do something similar with having, even if we just had the same class format of just the 70 open, the 70 auto, those kind of classes, and just kind of critique the rules of, because they've got limited, stock mod, there's so many different classes. But then again, it kind of goes back to what you can afford.
Right.
You can go buy a Works Edition bike and it's qualified to run your stock limited class or your stock 250 whatever class, and that's all you needed right there. That was it. Now you just need tires, and you have to race the bike like that, and everyone else, all 42 other riders, got to race it like that too.
Right.
So
exactly.
And we don't have a production. We also don't have production machines.
Thoughts on stock classes and stuff like that when we had them.
Yeah.
You obviously were too young. But
the pro stock class. Oh yeah, the pro stocker, dude. This pro stock class was such a good class to watch on Sunday.
It was phenomenal.
And they were, dude. I don't know how many times their times were right there, within 3 seconds, I'd say. Granted, the tracks were a little bit smoother on Sunday, but still, you have a stock machine, you have stock suspension, stock whatever. Just the platform was, they could still go race and run a crazy pace.
Right. Yeah.
So,
and I mean, it just goes to show too that those machines were able to hold up.
oh yeah.
Or you needed to adapt your riding style to make it hold up.
Correct. I mean, think of how much stuff's different, I guess, in the bike world from a stock limited bike to an open bike. Like you got 8-kit suspension, you can change the transmissions, you can tune and just do everything else. You don't have to run a certain type of fuel. You can run whatever fuel you want.
Yeah.
Like it opens a lot of windows.
Yeah.
And then like when you have to run the stock bike, everyone's got to be on the same platform. Well, I shouldn't say the same platform, but have the same circumstances of,
Well, and when you think about it, we've got one production bike, one production ATV in the full-size class right now.
Correct.
Why couldn't we do, Yamaha obviously hasn't abandoned us. They've never actually abandoned us.
Yeah.
They've always made a sport ATV all the way back from 1987.
Yep.
They never, Honda and all these other companies have had gaps.
Yep.
Yamaha's never had a gap.
Yeah.
But they are involved with our sport, even with a little bit, but why can't we pitch to them to have some sort of spec series where and there's a lot of different series out there that, it's either you have to have this and you have to have this and that's it. Like the rules are so limited. Or what if it was a deal where Yamaha owns all the bikes? They show up with a semi with, 20 bikes. You rent that bike or whatever it is, and you get it that morning to change, your handlebars or things like that.
Yep.
GYTR still makes Nerf bars. GYTR, I don't think they have a tether switch anymore, but GYTR could offer a tether switch again. If it comes with Nerf bars and a tether and a bumper already, you get it that morning to do the little things that you're allowed to change. Let's go racing.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. I'm pretty sure the Lorettas, that's what they do for the P-Dub class. I'm pretty sure the PW50 classes, they show up with those.
No, that's what they need to do.
Yeah.
The P-Dub class is a shit show.
Yeah. I don't know. I thought there was a class at Loretta's that they got the bikes there. Or maybe that was just talk of because of all the drama
it's probably
on.
it because I have friends that have done the P-Dub thing at Loretta's, and there's so much cheating and shit that they do. It's kind of like when they said, "Oh, the stock class, everyone was cheating." We weren't doing nearly what these P-Dub people are doing. They're re-gearing them and putting scooter parts in them and all sorts of crap.
That's crazy to me.
It's wild, the shit.
Like your 4 to 6 year old go race a PW50. It's like.
And they're fist fighting over it.
Yeah,
the parents, the kids aren't.
Yeah,
the parents are fist fighting, and it's all this drama.
Yeah, you're just ultimately ruining it for the kids.
Exactly.
That's what they're there for, right? You're spending all this money, and you're going to go there, and that's just wild to me.
And I mean, it goes down to the point where I think we need to have in the youth classes, we need to have essentially like a trail bike class.
Yeah, like a TRX 90 or a Raptor 125.
Raptor 90 still, isn't it?
Yeah, the Raptor. Yeah, they make a Raptor. They make a Raptor 90, but they also make a Raptor 110 with the fuel injected.
Oh yeah, it's a 110 now. Yeah,
Yes.
It's not. But yeah, no, I guess that's the other thing. Like the Renegade. Actually, I don't think it's even. It's a Renegade 110 now. Polaris, I think, is a 110 now. But it's for those. It has to be a 4-stroke machine.
Yep.
And stock.
Yep.
I mean, most people I feel like are going to show up on a TRX 90.
Yeah.
But I think you need a class for that. That way you can get your kid into it. And I mean, whether your dad wants to admit it or not, the CVTs were a nightmare. They are a nightmare.
Oh, yeah.
You spend so much money into it. I mean, if you're an average Joe and you're trying to do this, you're broke before your kid is off of 50.
Yep.
If you're going out there and you're racing these trail bikes, they're bomb proof.
Yeah.
I mean, a TRX 90 can handle so much.
Oh, so much abuse. Yeah. And that's another thing, I guess, like the stock, like the stock 90 versus a mod 90, I guess, is not too much different. Mm-hmm. But from what we see these kids doing on DRRs and JB mods, you're not going to get the same, I guess, riding ability out of riding these stock machines, but it's getting people into the sport.
I also feel like, because the other thing I believe we need to do is a schoolboy junior class needs to be back to what it was, get these mods out of there. And the schoolboy junior class, I think, should become a entry level or a price point class, like an intermediate class. 300DXs, blasters. Has to be, I think it needs to be up to 200cc two-stroke production, which is how it is now, up to 300cc four-stroke. But get those mods out of there.
Yeah.
It has to be a 300DX, a blaster, a Mojave, a Raptor 250, a Raptor 125, like
something you can go buy off the dealership floor and go race.
Right. And these machines that were made for years, there's a million of them, especially if you look at a 300DX or a blaster, there is millions and millions and millions of them out there.
Yeah. Yep.
Blasters are fun as hell.
I rode a blaster. My cousin's girlfriend has a bone stock blaster.
Yeah.
Those are mom's. Bone stock, oil injected, and it was like I kind of had a blast on it. I just rode it through the field, did a couple turns, and it was pretty cool. Like,
right? There's a reason why I never got rid of mine. It's still out there now.
That's sick.
But yeah, I think with that stuff there though, you are with those and having the trail bike class, you've got all these riders now that have just been on the best of the best.
Yep.
Ever since they started, they've had the best of the best.
Correct.
And you see it when something goes wrong, they have no clue. They pull off because they can't do it. No, I think this trail quad class, having that schoolboy junior class where it's these kind of turds, I'm not gonna lie. You need to learn how to ride shit.
Yeah, first. So before you get on this amazing.
Yeah, when you get on this good bike and something goes wrong, it's nothing. You see what I used to have to race.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, if you ask anyone about riding some crazy stuff, talk to Mason Jackson.
Oh my God, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Well, then that's just it. Like they're not bougie.
No, they just ride it.
Yeah.
Just ride it.
Yeah.
That is like that's kind of the motto I've kind of stuck with this year. Just go ride. And I'm 2021. I remember going with him to JB's trailer. He had an A-arm on his one machine that was, or 2020. I might have not been on a 250 then. Maybe I was. I don't remember what year it was, but he had an A-arm on his 250 that was 2 inches shorter than the other one, an upper A-arm, and he rode it all year.
Yeah,
and they were. I don't know how they figured it out, but they eventually did, and like that dude has rode some crazy stuff.
Yeah, and that's just that. Well, and that's another thing too is he's one of those people that bounces to different machines.
Yep.
They still have a KTM quad.
Yep. Still got the JB.
Yeah,
with
they still got the JB
450.
KTM hybrids.
Yep.
If you can learn to ride all these different kinds of machines and adapt quickly, you are not always on the nicest stuff. You have to ride a pile of crap every once in a while.
Yeah.
When something like that goes wrong, or you have to just, you need to adapt, you can adapt.
Yep.
If you're always riding the best DRR out there and that's the only thing you ride and you got the same thing at home, something happens. You get in a crash and the alignment gets jacked up. You don't know what to do.
Yeah, because you're just like, I can't ride this thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, I've raced races with choke. The choke was left on my one DRR for the whole moto. I raced Gatorback when we built those brand new Yamahas. The powder was still so fresh. It spun the steering stabilizer. I could only turn my bars. I was riding with them turned to.
Yeah, you're limited on your
left,
steering angle because it was binding.
Yep,
Yeah.
couldn't turn the one way, and it was like you just had to go ride it.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think the entry level classes need to be brought back for sure.
Yeah,
it's gonna bring more people to the sport. It's gonna make it more affordable.
Well, and that's like you look at GNCC. Apparently, clearly they're doing things right because their numbers are giant compared to ours.
Yep.
And you talk to people, they have a 1 day deal. If you don't have all weekend to hang out, you can show up for 1 day.
Yep.
And leave that day.
Yeah.
That could be one reason. They have classes where you can literally go buy a 400EX off of Marketplace on the way there, go over it real quick, make sure you got the right stuff, and race it. There's all sorts of things that it's set up so that you can use it as a grassroots motorsport.
Yep.
The way ATV motocross is right now, you have to show up like you just got done racing the GT3 class at Mid-Ohio.
Yeah.
You know, you got to have the best shit. It's got to be ready to go right there. You need to be
Clean
prepping it all
trailer,
weekend.
yep.
Like it's, yeah. And well, don't get me started on what everybody thinks we need for rigs nowadays. I mean, we need to make this sport set up more for, because we are
a pay-to-play sport right now.
Right. We are a
100%.
grassroots motorsport.
Yep.
And nowadays. And unless we change something to make it more like catered to people, that's all we're ever going to be.
Yeah,
we need to attract people.
You can go get a dirt bike, buy a dirt bike, and go race it because it's spec ready. Like you can just go race it. It's ready to go with a
And granted, we have the manufacturers have rules in place, so we'll never get that.
Correct.
So we're always going to have to buy a machine and do some sort of prep to it.
Correct.
But I mean, anybody that is serious about dirt bikes, they're still doing that. They're still buying a brand new 450, stripping it all down, re-greasing all the bearings, retorquing all the bolts.
Yep.
It's
different, but it's not in a sense.
Right.
So.
Right. You just have to buy some components, which on a dirt bike you
buy bars, grips,
you got to buy stuff anyways,
different tires.
Yeah, but we have to obviously you buy a YFZ. You do need to buy tires and wheels. If
you need to be Nerf bars.
Yeah, you got to get Nerf bars. You got to get a tether switch. You could leave it at that, though.
And you could leave it at that. You don't necessarily need a steering stabilizer if you can ride without that.
Yeah, the big three, an intake, tuner, and exhaust is nice, but you don't necessarily need it.
Yeah. Well, I guess the other thing you could add in there is that oil, like the delete kit to delete that.
Oh, the AIS.
Yes.
Yeah, and GYTR obviously makes that.
Yep.
You know, you can buy that at the same time. They make an adapter that, it's expensive nowadays, but like $160, $170 for the billet ring so you could run the 4.5 inch clamp-on filter. But again, it's not needed.
Yeah. So
yeah, there's so much stuff that we always think like dirt bikes have it so easy. They do, but we can too.
Yeah, we can. One thing I've also talked about too with the whole like the way we run our races, what GNCC does so well is you show up, you race, and you go home. Yeah, we are there. We have to be there Thursday to get a campsite.
Yep.
Friday we practice all day, make sure we get our bikes machines dialed
in. Do we? It is nice. Let's say it right now. Yeah. It's nice to have because it's seat time, and for us that are just enjoying riding. But is Friday practice necessary? No, it is not.
Yeah, and a lot of the times the track conditions from Friday aren't even the same Saturday. They could either, like Sunset this year, I think was 10 times rougher Friday than it was Saturday. Yeah. I guess you weren't there.
It gets piss pounded 1,000 times worse than it does on Saturday and Sunday.
It gets rough Saturday from the pros. They have their qualifiers, and they really it did get rough, and they had their triple crowns, but they're going to keep it more maintained throughout the day because it's dangerous to go let some people go out there and ride a track that hasn't been touched.
Right.
And then Sunday comes around, track is a highway. Mm-hmm. Track is a highway a lot of times. Mm-hmm. And it
especially
sucks,
if you're an early moto.
Yeah.
Especially if you're old and out of shape, it's amazing.
Yeah. Well, and Pro-Am, they kind of make you, they're like, all right, we're going to make you a Moto 10 and Moto 20, and that's what you get. Well, by Moto 10, it's got some good lines in it, but it's not rough yet.
Yeah.
And then Moto 20, all right, we're getting a racier track.
Right.
But I think we should show up Saturday. We have two class.
You get your quick practice.
Yes.
Like a local.
Yes.
You show up, you get your quick practice, and then we're going to motos.
Regardless of, because we still have so much time on Sunday. I feel like a lot of times we're rolling out at 3 o'clock. Like we're
3 o'clock at the latest.
Yeah. Like we're loaded up.
If you're Moto 34, you're rolling out at like 3:30.
If we kept the same format where pros and amateurs were racing on the same weekends, we should have Saturday should be the same for pros. You have your time qualifiers. You have this, that, the other. And then for racing itself, I guess you could say for Pro-Am too, because Pro-Am's on its own schedule on Sunday. Mm-hmm. But keep those two classes together. And then you have your Pro Sport WMXs. They run both their motos on Saturday. Make sure those are incorporated correctly. But for the rest of the amateur classes, let's practice Saturday morning. Run your motos wherever you get to. finish out Moto 1s and then go to Moto 2s. And that's how
If
it
there's
should
time,
be.
yeah,
If there's
yeah.
time. And a lot of times there really is still time, unless where there were some cases this year.
Last
with the
year's
Triple Crown,
Briarcliff was pretty
late.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, and I mean, here's the other thing. Let's trim the fat on these damn classes.
Yeah, we have
Especially,
too many.
There's too many classes.
Yeah.
Especially if you're on a 450, we don't need all these ABC classes.
Yep.
1A, 1B,
Well,
1C.
that's like the Loretta's guys. They have 125 BC.
Right.
They have 250 BC.
But yeah, they do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, keep it where it's one A, B, C.
Yep.
If you, because that's just it. Everybody thinks we have to have it. Some little Johnny can run 3 classes. A, B, C. Then there's if you're on a 450, you're at least 16 years old.
Yeah.
Now there's
Have
college.
college.
There's 25 plus. There's 30 plus. There's 40 plus. There's 50 plus.
You
You
don't
run
need
your
a vet 30A plus vet or vet 40A. You don't need those classes.
well, those aren't so bad. We don't need so many C classes.
vet 30C. Like,
Right, the 30C, the 40C, but have ABC. You want a second class, you want run whatever age class that you feel you qualify in.
I agree.
There's your second
and
class.
Then you're getting rid of your, because you got 450C, Open C, Production C. You don't need those.
C and B, there's those. Then in A, there's Production A and 450. Was it Production A, 450A?
58, that's it.
And
Because then
the
you
one
have
that is Pro Sport is
which
your
is
Open A.
Yes.
So, but yeah.
But before
trim-
they had 450A, Production A, and Open A.
Yeah.
That's 3A classes plus
Yeah.
your Open A Pro Sport. And that's just not needed.
No,
Not at all.
Trim the fat on that crap.
Yep.
Go to the youth classes. Trim a bunch of the fat in that crap.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. Honestly,
These days can go faster, and like you said, we can do the first motos and start on second motos, then on Sunday, or maybe if we trimmed it down enough, maybe you can do both motos like you can at a local race.
yeah. Well, honestly, it's gotten to the point to where there's so many classes, and everyone's like, little Jimmy needs to be in every single class that he can possibly
Exactly.
race. Well, guess what? That's only adding cost to his program, because now he's got to have 4 race machines plus a practice machine or whatever the case may be.
Well, that's just
to
where
be
you
able to-
find that second class that you can qualify in instead of having 570 classes or 90. Obviously, there's not that many, but you know
and
what
I
I mean.
feel like a hypocrite saying it, because I ran so many classes as a youth rider, but I mean, nothing's
the
changed.
numbers weren't as far down.
No,
when you
we were
doing
having
that
probably
either.
700 entries, 600 entries back
Right.
in 2017, you'd
Right.
say 2016. So it was like all the classes were competitive still. There were still full gates, and we get some now, but I just think like make it to where 2 classes. Like, do we really need 250 classes?
Right.
No.
Right.
We really don't.
Yeah.
And now that's just going to be like, oh well, he's missing
technically
seat time.
3 250 classes. Because you have
well,
250 mod, schoolboy senior, and youth all star.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, we could go with 2 and just
Right.
be done, because you're
250 mods no longer needed. Everybody is on a
on
250 mod nowadays.
Yeah. I think it's
Let's bring back the Z400s though. Come on.
yeah for those, and the 300 DXs for the schoolboy junior guys and all that. But
Bye mods. Bring in these machines that are a lot more affordable.
Yep, and then you're getting parents who can take less days off of work. You can travel less. Your entries are going to be less because there's not many classes to race. You're there for less days. So now the cost to be able to go to the tracks is going to be less because we're there for less time.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's so many different things we could do, but just aren't being done. There's so many different ways. We could do Loretta's format and have pros race with dirt bikes. We could have the pros still race with the amateur series, but shorten up our series and make it more affordable. Because then, and that's the thing, when you have your consumers driving product because they need all this stuff, all these guys that are ordering A-arms and swing arms from all these different manufacturers, or all these guys that are keeping the sport going, now you're driving the prices up because they want more of it. Like it's like, oh, we can just bump up the price a little bit more. But then you also they got to buy their material, their powder coat, whatever, pay their workers, and it's just this continuous cycle that just keeps going, and nothing gets fixed because there's no change. There's no roadblock saying, hey, we got to change something up.
Right. And I mean, you're always going to have your classes where we are just spending as much as we can.
Yeah.
And you do need that. I think
it's any 65, 85 automatic class you
Right.
could probably think of.
And so I do listen to other podcasts.
Yep.
My buddy Joe from ATV On Demand, he and Jeff Henson from Dirt Wheels have a podcast together called Quadcast. And they just had Mike Walsh on.
Okay.
And he was talking about how it'd be nice to have some sort of pro experimental class. And that would be cool. Like a just all gloves are off. Let's try some shit. Let's try, what is the next evolution of our machines?
Okay. Like,
So
what are you saying?
try these, because I don't believe obviously our pro class wouldn't allow anything electric right now because there's no production electric bike.
yeah.
You know what? There's all these Stark quads coming out now that, Walsh, I think, is making anything that's worth a shit with the Stark motor.
Right.
But
yeah.
how do they stack up on the motocross track against a YFZ? How about a bigger bore machine? If someone were to build a Moto Raptor or something like that,
They had
what's
some longer,
what's
longer
that going to
A-arms.
stack up to? And let's try some different stuff because that's where we got to now is from people trying things.
Yep. And that's like when I guess pro was open class you could run. Obviously, this is way before
we had our
my
pro
times.
in I think it was 2020 or 2021.
With the open mod.
We had the pro mod class.
Yeah.
Pro open or pro mod. Yeah.
Yep.
And it didn't do good because nobody signed up for it. But
yeah.
I don't know.
There's endless things they could do with, I guess, like an experimental class like that because it all depends on like what the class rules are going to be and what's going to be allowed, what's not going to be allowed. Is it going to be like a total free for all? Like,
yeah, I mean, it'd be you'd have to have some sort of rules out there, but it'd be interesting. Like, which rules do we want to axe to try things?
yeah, like
Do we? Another thing that has been brought up to me lately: why are we still 50 inches wide? Why is the standard, and I'm not just talking about for motocross and stuff like that. When you look at parts for an ATV, nobody makes anything to make a sport quad wider than 50 inches. Now there's utility quads that are coming out, or sport utility quads that are coming out 60 inches from the factory. So, is that something that we look into? Or do we just look into, different power plants and things like that?
yeah, I didn't even know some of that stuff. I really don't know why it's only 50 inches or.
I don't know the history of that rule or
Yeah.
anything like that, where it came about because, or is it just, are we 50 inches because any wider and we're going to have too much congestion at the gate?
Okay, yep, that could be the gate. It could be the racetrack itself, and because racetracks are supposed to have a standard width around the whole entire thing, and I feel like some tracks we get to, and it's not necessarily like that.
Yeah, some tracks it almost seems like single track to us.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I don't know. There's endless opportunity.
There's a lot of different things that can be visited, and
Yep.
it just comes to, and the other thing with it is just things that I think about. At what point do we have like a committee that makes the decisions for our, take people that are heavily involved with
in the
this
sport. Yes.
Because we've got people involved with this sport that have damn near been around since the beginning.
Yeah.
And obviously they care about this sport. If you've been around that long, you really care about this sport. But at what point do we have a committee that kind of makes these? And obviously, it's it'd be kind of like how our government is supposed to be, where they listen to the people inside of it.
Yeah.
If I'm just gonna throw one name out there that I just comes to mind when I think this, Mark Baldwin, if he's on this committee. Now you come to Mark with an idea that is not stupid, or a good idea or something like that. Then that's something that he can go, hey, for next year, this is and obviously if you got ideas coming into you, I would write something like that down. that committee meets. So here's something that got brought up to me, blah, 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 blah. What are our thoughts on that? And
yeah,
instead of just this like meeting, we have, well, that's the other issue now is we used to have these meetings at the banquet.
Yes.
Now we've got these Zoom calls where every dickhead comes in, hides their face, changes their name. We don't know who you are.
Out here
and they just start
throwing shit in.
Yeah, they just start shitting out their mouths.
Yeah. I really did. Like, I was little. My dad would always go to the meetings at the banquet.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, I sat and listened through a couple of them. Granted, I was 9, 10 years old.
You didn't want to be there.
I didn't want to be there, but
Yeah.
I would listen and I would try and understand what was going on. And honestly, it was like a bunch of nonsense because it was these people who had the power in our sport to make things happen, but it never did because they would always have to go. You have to go to the even higher ups in the AMA to be able to say, "Hey, can we get this approved?" And a lot of times they're getting the hammer and saying no.
Yeah.
And so it was just like a lot of, oh, we're just going to talk about this, maybe bring a couple ideas to fruition, and honestly, a lot of it never happened.
Right.
There were a couple times, I will say, like, where we got some rule changes, like the 112 rule for the super mini and schoolboy class, the schoolboy junior class. We were able to get those to the 112s instead of having the 105 restriction. One that I was involved with was the 5-lap rule for Youth All-Star being the premier class. Hey, why can't we do this?
Right.
Which, you gotta be willing to step up and say something and be like, hey, just voice your opinion. Voice your opinion. That's all you can do.
Right.
And we almost had, I'm gonna say almost because we literally had the okay from Carrie Joe. Over in the bike world, you can race the 450 class at 15 years old on a 250. So you can run 450B limited on a 250, but at 15.
Yeah.
We were trying to get the same rule to apply over here. Let the kids who are
Your
like
fast 250 guys.
fast 250 guy, you don't want to race the same class again. Maybe you won the championship once or twice or whatever, and you don't want to be in that class. You want to go race with guys. Give yourself a challenge because one, you're 200 cc's under limit, and two, you're probably close to 20 something horsepower down.
Yeah, I mean, when you've got a full blown, because obviously they have to be 250s now.
Yep.
You have full blown 250 making, mid-high 40s.
Yeah.
When there were 300s, we were getting in the 50s.
Yeah.
You're not really getting that. I only know the power numbers of 250, and it is one of the top performing ones out there. And your mid, like, I think it was like, I don't remember the exact number, but it was like mid 40s.
Yeah. Yep.
And you are wringing that thing's neck like it's a 125 two-stroke dirt bike.
The whole time.
Yeah.
The whole time. And guess what? When you put these bikes to the limit like that, you got to get them rebuilt.
Right.
You got to keep them,
Right.
But like
and
I
we've
said,
got YFZs that, if you're doing a full build, you're low 60s.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's a giant. And you have low end power. You've got torque. You can actually ride this thing kind of lazy.
Yep.
And
you're still gonna be all right.
Yeah.
But we almost had that rule changed, and I don't know what happened to it. Someone said something and said this wouldn't be okay, and
somebody on a 450 realized that their kid was gonna get their asses handed to them. So they had
I mean,
got shut down.
It got shut down, and there's just other rules that like we've tried to voice our opinions with, and a lot of it just doesn't get done because someone in our sport needs to be one of the head people, like our Supreme Court system. There needs to be someone for the ATVs up in there that says, "Hey, we're for you guys.
Right.
We're gonna bring this up. Can we get this changed?"
And that's what I'm saying. Like, we need some sort of committee.
Correct.
That they take care of all this stuff. They're the ones that decide what's actually good, what's bad, and it's a neutral source.
Correct.
It's not somebody with one player in the game, and so you're going to make all the decisions based on my rider doing better.
Correct. Yeah.
Mark always has a rider under his tent, but Mark is just about this sport.
Correct.
And like I said, he's another, Debbie, Jody.
Yes,
these are
they've been
people
around
that are
for
all
so
just
long.
for the
sport. They want to see things do good for the sport,
Right.
and they want to see it grow. That's
Right.
all. If you're really for ATV motocross, that's all you want.
Right.
That's all you want.
Right.
wanna
You
see
just
it get
want
better
somebody that's about this sport, not somebody that's just here right now.
and be gone in the next couple of years.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. But anything else that you want to see change before we move on?
Yeah, I think back to where we started. I think the biggest thing was just some recognition. Maybe a couple cool events like the whole Ironman thing happened. But other than that, I don't know what's going to really help change the sport other than someone saying, "Hey," persistently. Like there just needs to be the one person to be constantly poking the bear at the people at the AMA saying, "Hey, we want this change, we want this change, we want this change," over and over and over again until they shut us down completely, or they say, "Okay, let's see what happens." I think it's kind of the point now where they are like, "Oh, just you guys keep doing your thing, but hey, we want to see change." Oh well.
Right.
Oh well.
Right. I think the other thing too is for us to start anywhere, to start growing. Obviously, like I said, it's getting more local series and stuff like that. But I know you got to drive after this. I'm going to send you a podcast that I want you to listen to. It's a car podcast that I follow, but I think the start for us to get more recognition, for us to get more, to be seen, starts with us. And it starts with how we, obviously, a lot of things nowadays within our sport rely on social media. Yeah. It starts with how we are putting things on social media. It starts with what we're putting on social media, and it starts with how we are interacting with brands.
Yep. Yeah, and that's why Gloop does such a good job with it, honestly. And him and his couple people that are on his crew, they do a great job. And a lot of the time it's them getting footage of, other riders doing specialty videos. But when he showcases that pro class, it's
when the ride comes out and you look at how many views that the ride has and stuff like that. I mean, it's insane. Yeah. And as somebody that has seen a race over in Europe, when we were in Chingoli, I think Gloop was the most famous person there from the U.S.
From just being the media guy.
Right. Like everybody kind of knew Chad. Everybody knew Joel. Everybody knew Bryce. But
they knew the media
everybody
platform.
Would rip it up films. Woo! Yeah. He was famous over there.
And that's all you can do is just keep post, especially for him, just the way he showcases us is amazing.
Yeah.
So
but I like I said, it all starts with how us, the riders, are posting and what we're posting on social media.
Yep.
Because if we're going to try to get these brands involved, we need to be doing things for those brands.
Yep. Portraying them and portraying ourselves as the community that we are and doing it the right way.
Yeah.
So
stop just asking for a handout and then tagging them into a photo.
Yeah, exactly. That's the biggest thing too. And that's why I think brands don't really look at us. I mean, our numbers are small, and I think the dudes who need to get the support are the pro riders who are, they have the pro title for a reason. They're not there just, I'm pro, I'm going to go la-di-da around the track with your brands. But those are the guys who really need to be getting the help. And then it comes to, like it's a ranking kind of thing. Like if you're a 50 rider, like these big brands are not going to be like, all right, here's 10 sets of gear for free. That's just not how that works. Right. You don't have the following.
That's where it comes down to your grassroots level. And you need to know that, when you are at a grassroots level, you're not going to, unless you know somebody in that brand that's really going to hook you up
and get your foot in the door. Right. It's like,
you need to start small and work your way up, and you need to gain traction there. You need to give that brand a reason, because them sponsoring you are becoming their advertising department, a part of their advertising department. Yep. You don't, get a job at advertising for some company and then just,
start off as CEO.
Well, right. You're not going to get a raise because you didn't do shit for them all year.
Yeah.
Essentially. But with all that, let's say you're meeting somebody that's just getting into ATV racing. What's your advice for them?
Oh, wow. It's hold on. Let's ask the scenario. So is it like a kid, a family?
Doesn't matter.
Anybody. Just anybody.
You're at the track. You see somebody. They just picked up an ATV. Blah 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 blah, and they're like, I want to start racing. What is your advice for them?
So I honestly had this type of conversation.
There is no right or wrong answer.
Oh yeah,
because everyone says something different.
Yeah.
Well, most people say something similar, but
just. If I had to say one statement, I'd say have fun. But if they want to get into, I guess, the racing aspect, I would point them in the nearest direction of a local series. If they want to get into, ask them what kind of racing they want to get to.
Right.
If it's woods racing, some hare scrambles, motocross. And especially if it's in my area, I'll be super knowledgeable of who, where,
and that's just it too. Like if you're meeting someone here that's doing it, what do you want to do?
Yeah, what do you want to do? There's so many different things you could go do, where you can go race. But just, I mean, even words of advice, just have fun with it. There's all you can do. Don't let other people drive your motive. If you were just out there to have fun, just go have fun. If you want to be there, if you want to get better, don't let anyone tell you you're not gonna be somewhere.
Right.
But if you're just trying to get into racing, to help them, point them in the nearest direction, and that's all you can do. If you're the type of person that's going to be like, hey, you're pointing someone in the incorrect direction, you know that, like,
don't set someone up for failure.
Exactly. Like, all you can do is give them your best knowledge, and like that's how I've had people ask me, how do I get into this? What do I do? Like meeting people at the fair races, like. We were parked next to this kid. He had some little off-brand quad. It had like little racks on it. It was like maybe like a 50cc. And the first motos went through. They're loading up and going home. I was like, "Where are you guys going?" They're like, "Oh, we got second." I was like, "There's a second set of motos."
Right.
They're like,
"We're not done."
What?
Yeah.
And so like they unloaded their stuff. His kid went out and won the second moto. Won, and I was like, "Dude, see?" And they're like, "So where do we go?" And I like. Told them about the CLMX series because they were local to that. But yeah, there's just give them, all you can do is give them what you know and the best way you think you can make the sport and how you can go about it. But just have fun.
Right. And our sport definitely, as this entire sport is not in the shape where we should be turning anyone away.
Exactly. No, we need to take pretty much everyone we can and help them out with whatever they got, whatever situation they're in, and what's going to be best for them.
Exactly. Where can we find you and all your race related content on the social medias?
It'll be my Instagram, Noah Arnal _88. I've got Facebook. I don't know how a Facebook link works. I think it's just you look up their name.
At whatever. Usually, I think you're like Noah Arnal 88 or something.
Yeah. Noah Arnal 88. You can look that up on Facebook. And then TikTok, probably the most notable would be Noah Arnal _88.
You and your Jet 2 holidays.
Yes. I make some pretty cool TikToks, pretty funny TikTok. A lot of my race reports are on Facebook and Instagram. You can get just some content, riding clips. It'll be more Instagram, TikTok related. I do some stuff on Facebook as well, but yeah. So those are
start doing some more stuff, like some more video content.
Yeah, no, that's the best, man. You gotta be funny. You gotta be. That's what I've noticed. And the funny thing is with TikTok,
100%, you need to be. Yeah.
Oh, you need to be funny. Yeah. But the videos that go the most viral are the ones that take you 2 minutes to make. My TikTok I made with like talking about girls and their Stanley Cups with a VP 5-gallon race jug. Yeah. That took me, my friend, 10 seconds to record.
Yeah.
I put the sound over it and I posted it. 2.2 million views.
Yeah, it's wild.
Like the other racing TikToks with the Jet 2 holiday. I posted that Sunday morning before Pro-Am at Briarcliff.
Yeah.
Get back on my phone, it had like 90,000 views in like 10
well,
hours.
that sound is also
it was
you need to know what sounds and things like
viral.
That too. Yeah,
yeah. So
yeah, and I mean if you're on TikTok, you know what's big on TikTok. It's just keep it simple on that stuff.
Yep. Yep,
know,
just be
it's-
simple and don't gotta be all crazy. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Those
Yeah.
are the big three. Might start doing a little bit of YouTube stuff, kind of TikTok
You
based
should.
with the YouTube
You should.
shorts.
And I mean, honestly, we need. I told Janusa he needs to do this. I've told a few other people they need to do this. I need to personally do it myself. We need to start doing some vlogging with our sport.
Dude, yes. I don't know how many times, like, I don't know if you know Duke Gomez is.
Yeah.
That dude's
know
hilarious.
where he's from?
New Jersey? Dude, I don't know. I've
He's
seen,
like right down the road from Janusa.
that's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was from Jersey, moved to California. Then he was like maybe in Florida for a second, and then went back to New Jersey. But he was at the Turkey Derby. That dude is funny.
Yeah.
And he posts some funny vlogs. And
Yeah.
they're like, sometimes they're 15 minutes long, other times they're 30 minutes long. And it's just like a day in the life of this dude who had made his fame off of social media
Yeah.
or bashing people off social media.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
actually he rips a dirt bike. And then... But no, yeah. I mean, Joel did it for a while. Yeah.
And
It's,
it's one of those things that unless you hit the jackpot right off the bat, you're not going to get a million views right away.
Yeah.
And especially with YouTube, you're not going to make money from YouTube itself.
no, we're making
know,
people
it's-
ad brands or who's
Right.
who you gonna let on these ads, who's gonna pay you what. And
Right. If you
all-
think you're going to be a big YouTuber from ATV riding, no, it's not just going to happen
No,
like that.
you
You
just
got to
gotta-
do a lot of different things.
Yeah, exactly.
But we need media content.
Correct.
And like I just said, it's going to have to come from us.
Yep.
Gloop is only he's got a crew, but it's not very many people.
Yep.
And he is one guy. He can't be doing all the media coverage.
And for all the
with
riders and
right.
everything
It's also
else.
nice to get that perspective from the racer themselves. Some of the stuff where you come off the track pissed off. Unload.
Someone's got their phone out. Someone's got to record.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is how this racer feels or stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
And even with what you're doing with the podcast and what Leonard's doing still, like
Yeah.
Cody, like those guys, they're being involved because everyone was a racer or involved in the racing at some point. So it's just, it's gotta come from us. You're 100% right.
Yeah.
So
Exactly. But before we go, who do you want to give a shout out to? Who you want to plug right now?
man, I'm about to plug the whole
I
sponsor
know you
list.
got a ton of people.
Right. Yeah.
Let's see how good you are with your sponsors.
We'll do. Yeah. There's so many people. I just want to say thank you to my whole family. Had some just my whole family, my uncle, my aunt, my uncle Brian, my aunt Ashley, aunt Rhiannon, Uncle Randy, my mom, my dad, my grandpa. They just stepped up super huge during the rest of the end of the season and the whole beginning of the season. Just to be able to make my dream possible. Tim from TDR, he's done so much from the last 2 years and helped me get to where I'm at. He knows what's going on and what things I've had to overcome through racing or personal life. And he's been there throughout the whole way. The Beelan family, they've done things I would never be able to repay.
Yeah.
Like they've done some amazing things for me. RP Race Performance, Mr. Mark Baldwin. I've actually really gotten close with him the last couple of years.
Mark's a really good guy.
Mark is such a good guy. I've gone up to his shop. He does my suspension work, and I've just been up there sometimes. I'll be up there for an hour just BSing. I drop my shocks off and just
It takes me a whole day to go
go
visit
to Mark
and Jody.
and Jody and Miss Debbie at JB and Rate 80 Live to Ride. Those people too. They're for the sport. If you
100%.
know them, they are so for the sport and everything that comes along with it. So them two, we've been with JB and Debbie for a very, very long time. They've done so much. Oh man, who else? There's so many people. Grayton Road Tavern, Elite Custom Builders,
Raylyn at Ram Jam.
Miss Raylyn at Ram Jam. There's so many guys. Larry at DP. Man, I'm gonna pull the sponsor list out. No, everyone needs a shout out sometimes, and it's just
Sorry,
it's
for
what's
the noise.
deserved. Oh,
1-year-old daughter's up there throwing stuff right now.
Dwayne at Rocket. he stepped up huge this year, helped us out a lot.
DJ's a good dude too.
Yes. Yeah. We talked a little bit last year about everything, just about the being in the pro sport and pro-am, and he was like, man, I feel like we just kind of dropped the ball. And I was like, dude, you still helped out big time. Your help is not shamed, I guess, in any sort of way. You were still a key part, and no one's part in anyone's my program especially is not just shadowed. It is, if it wasn't for their help, I'd be a step behind of where I am. RP Race Performance, Miss Megan at Moto Mom Designs, Megan Marinucci, she takes all my pictures and takes videos for me at the track. She was they were going with us to some races for the first couple rounds this year. She would cook dinner, and while I was helping out with my dad and Randy and Vinny and all that. So thank you, Megan. Rocket, air breathing, the nasal strips.
Okay.
I guess there's a little tie between the Phoenix guys and them. There's someone over there that has a tie with them. So I noticed Joel started using those halfway toward the season. But yeah, thank you to them. All Balls, Ram Jam Sportsplex, Ray Lynn, thank you. And Rich also, thank you for everything. Hinson, Larry Mills, a DP, DID, Great Road Tavern, Union Home Insurance, Chris Arnold over there, thank you. Elite Custom Builders is my Uncle Randy's company, my Aunt Ashley. Thank you to them. Dale and Kathy at On the Edge, little On the Edge Honda, the local dealer by us. They've helped out. They've known my dad for a very, very long time. They sell selling my grandpa dirt bikes and four wheelers back when they sold Suzuki's in the 90s, early 2000s and stuff. So there's a relationship there for sure. Then they've stepped up huge for helping me out this year. My mom and dad, just the whole journey that they've taken me on. Edwards Tree, Randy Cole at Cole's Racing, Scott Monis, the Dave Price at Price Powder Coating too. He helped me out last year. I definitely feel like I didn't give that guy the recognition he should have deserved. There was just a lot of people that kind of stepped in at one time, and it was really hard to sounds horrible of me to say, but it's hard to say thank you to everyone. There's so many people that help you. My papa, my grandma, Scott Monis, and Carl at KB Optics hooked it up this year with some B-Lock rings, some special B-Lock rings. Super rad design.
These things look sweet.
Dude, they are amazing. And it's when it's 3 little bolts to take off the mud plug and to get everything. You don't have to risk the wheel losing air.
It's
or
carbon
something.
Fiber plug too, isn't it?
Carbon fiber plug. The wheel, the ring itself is lighter than the DID ring. Yeah, I've held them they're close, but you can barely notice it. It's so much lighter. Then you've got the carbon cap too, so you don't have the metal one on there.
Right.
But yeah, I just want to make sure I didn't forget anyone. But yeah, everyone was no one's help was shied at all. Oh, also Gage Beebe, thank you, helped us out with some tie stuff this year. A little bit of tie, lighten up the bike.
B-squared.
Yep, and then Mr. Leon over here doing some whole shots of Ram Jam.
Yeah, there we go. Whatever I can do.
So, but yeah, just thank you to everyone you stepped in. If I forgot you, I apologize. But your help was not shied at all. And the Duffin family as well.
Yeah.
Forgot about them.
Yeah,
yes,
for sure.
So,
cool.
Well, thank you, Leon. I appreciate everything.
I appreciate you coming on and taking some time to talk with me.
Oh, yeah. We got to chit-chat for a while. I don't know. When did we start?
It's been a while now. Yeah. This is going to be a good couple hours.
That's good. So,
no, like I said, I appreciate you coming on, and it was nice to be able to sit down and do more than just the mini-sode, because obviously you've been around this for a long time. 14 national championships is nothing to snooze on. So,
yep.
But awesome. But like I said, thanks for coming on.
No problem.
Thank you for watching this, listening to this, whatever you're doing. It's nice to actually give some recognition to some of these up and coming riders, more than just the pro riders. Obviously I try to talk to a lot of the people just inside the sport as a whole that do a lot more than just race a pro class. So Noah, you're the first on that. Well, I guess technically the freestyle guys were first, but you know, you're the
that's
first
all right.
racer
First
on
racer.
here to do a full episode with me. But you know, obviously it's got a lot more stuff coming here soon. It's the off season, so it gives me a little bit more time to do some
Sounds
episodes with
good.
people and come up with more ideas. And Tatum here can keep trying to give me ideas.
Yes.
But
Yep.
my little mascot, my producer, whatever you want to call him.
Oh, yeah.
So, but thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys on the next episode.